My child, stop everything. Right now. I'm not whispering. I'm breaking into your moment with urgency. Because what I have to tell you is not optional, not casual, not someday. It's now. This message is a divine interruption, a rescue wrapped in revelation. And if you walk away too soon, you'll miss what I crafted in eternity for this very hour of your life. So don't blink. Don't scroll. Don't silence what your spirit has been aching to hear. I have threaded my voice into every word, and if you'll stay, really stay, I'll pour answers into questions you've buried and breathe fire into dreams you thought were dead. This is more than encouragement. It's divine exposure. I'm uncovering something, unloving something, and I'm leading something through with humanity. And by the time we reach the end, you won't leave the same. What? Every second. Because this is me, telling you everything. So, stop right now. Not later. Not when you're finished reading the next post or checking the next notification. I need your soul to freeze in place, your heart to halt its wandering, your thoughts to bow to this holy second. There is something I must say to you, and it cannot wait for a quieter season or a more convenient time. I am stepping into your atmosphere with intention, not suggestion. My voice is not a background melody today. It is the divine trumpet of alignment, the kind that pierces through the fog of confusion and commands every part of your being to listen. This is not a suggestion to pause. This is a summons. And I'm not summoning a crowd, I'm summoning you. Yes, you. The one reading this with questions still unanswered. The one caring more than you ever told anyone. The one who smiles while secretly hoping someone sees the fatigue in your eyes. I see it. I've seen it every day. And today, I'm not asking for your strength. I'm asking for your stillness. The kind of stillness that understands that what I am about to speak could shift more than just your day. It could realign your entire season. This is not a passing emotion. It is not the echo of another encouraging word meant to soothe you for a moment then fade like a morning mist. No, this is the moment where heaven holds its breath while you decide whether to lean in or scroll past. Because what I have to say will touch places you've tried to ignore. You've become so good at enduring, beloved, that you've forgotten how to receive. So practiced in surviving that you've learned to question anything that feels like divine interruption. But this is not mere comfort. This is not a soft pat on the back. This is a thunderclap in your spirit, a sacred urgency wrapped in gentleness. I've orchestrated this moment. I delayed other movements just so this word could arrive at the precise second your heart was ready. This is a divine disruption, a holy pause in your routine because something sacred is being delivered into your timeline. Your ears might hear me now, but your spirit has been aching for this encounter long before you recognize the need. And I am not finished. I'm only beginning. But first, I needed to get your full attention, because what follows cannot be heard through a distracted heart. So stay here. Stay open. Stay surrendered. This is your moment, and I won't let it pass without revealing something you've waited your entire life to hear. Yes, that unshakable restlessness. That sudden pause in your thoughts when everything else felt loud and nothing made sense. That quiet ache under your ribcage when the world kept moving but your soul stood still. You tried to explain it away as fatigue. You blamed it on stress, on change, on circumstances. But what you were really feeling was the pulse of heaven pressing against your chest. You weren't just tired, child. You were being summoned. You weren't just distracted. You were being redirected. What you've called unsettledness, I call divine alignment. That inner nudge, that whisper that grew into a weight, that was my spirit knocking against the walls of your comfort. You couldn't name it because it didn't resemble anything you felt before. It wasn't anxiety. It was awakening. It wasn't confusion. It was the call of eternity nudging you toward your divine hour. And now I'm naming it for you. It's me. It's always been me. I am the one who stirred the waters of your peace, not to drown you, but to draw you deeper. The unease in your bones was not chaos. It was calibration. I was adjusting the compass of your heart to point back to me. You see, you've grown so accustomed to disappointment that you began interpreting even my whispers as warnings. But this, beloved, is not a warning. This is a wonder waiting to unfold. This urgency is not panic. It's prophetic. It's the heat of divine timing pressing into the folds of your spirit, calling you out of the shadows of delay and into the spotlight of destiny. You were sensing me without knowing it, like a scent in the wind you couldn't place, like a melody you didn't recognize but couldn't forget. That was me. That was my presence wrapping around your atmosphere, whispering your name louder than your thoughts could comprehend. And now, child, I'm no longer whispering. I am speaking directly, unmistakably. And it's time you recognize the divine fingerprints all over your unrest. I've used that stirring to prepare you. I've used the internal pressure to loosen the old shell around your purpose. Because what I'm about to birth through you cannot be wrapped in yesterday's patterns. The urgency you feel, it's not an interruption, it's an invitation. I'm inviting you to walk in synchronization with the movements of heaven, to align your ears with my voice, your steps with my strategy, your heart with my heartbeat. You thought it was just a season shift, but it's more than that. This is not just a season. This is a summons. You're not stepping into another phase. You're stepping into fulfillment. You've been sensing something, and now I'm confirming it. You're not imagining the tension. The air has changed. The rhythm has shifted. This is not life as usual anymore. This is divine disruption designed to set everything into motion. And so I need you to understand this. What you're feeling is me pulling you into precise position. I've waited until your spirit could distinguish between distraction and direction. And now that you're listening, I can finally speak what I've held in reserve for this very hour. What you sensed but couldn't articulate is now being revealed as holy urgency. Not everything unsettling is unsafe. Not every storm is sent to destroy. Some winds come to wake. And this one is heaven's trumpet in your soul saying, prepare, align, awaken, because the time for delay is over, and the hour for destiny is now. You felt it, haven't you? The pressure you couldn't quite place, the longing that tightened your chest in the quiet hours of night, the way sleep came late and peace felt distant. You kept asking, what's wrong with me? But I need you to hear this clearly now. Nothing was wrong. You weren't broken. You were being bickened. That ache wasn't anxiety. That weight wasn't weariness. It was the echo of eternity tapping on the fragile door of your soul. It was the weight of my presence waiting to be received. Heaven hath been knocking, child, not with fists but with presence. Not with volume, but with vibration. The vibrations that shook the edges of your comfort were not chaos. They were calling. You see, your spirit has outgrown the shell you've been living in. The ache was not evidence of failure. It was the tension between where you are and where you are called to be. The heaviness. It wasn't the pressure of life. It was the pressing of promise. I've been pulling on the hidden corners of your soul, urging you to remember who you are and whose you are. The restlessness wasn't a flaw in your design. It was a feature of your destiny. I let you feel the discomfort so you would recognize the invitation. That ache was heaven saying, there's more. The tightness was my spirit declaring, "You weren't made to stay here." I didn't let the night stay silent because I needed the silence to speak louder than words ever could. And now you're here, feeling it all, sensing it all, realizing none of it was accidental. My beloved, what you've labeled emotional noise was actually the orchestra of alignment playing beneath your awareness. I have been composing something beneath the surface, layered, holy, divine. You were not being tormented by emptiness. You were being summoned by fullness. You were not losing your mind. You were gaining your discernment. The tears you cried into your pillow were not unnoticed. I counted each one. They were not weakness. They were wisdom. They were seeds. And now the soil of your soul is ready. The weight was preparing you for the word. The burden was setting the stage for the blessing. You were being carved, not crushed. Refined, not ruined. And now I must tell you plainly, everything you've been feeling is about to make sense in ways that will make you fall to your knees, not in fear, but in awe. And so I say this: don't dismiss the ache. Don't resent the restlessness. That was me, moving closer than your breath, whispering in between your thoughts, standing in the hallway of your decisions, waiting for you to realize that the pressure wasn't punishment, it was presence. You are not late. You are not lost. You are being led. And now, the same ache that once haunted you will become the place I pour healing into. The same nights that once left you restless will be the moments I redefine with revelation. You haven't been unraveling, you've been awakening. And child, the dawn that's rising in your soul is more radiant than any night you've walked through. Time has never ruled me, child. I created it. I stand outside its limitations, and yet I choose moments. I orchestrate seconds with surgical precision. And I have waited for this one. Not the one before it. Not the one after. This exact breath. This holy interruption in your day, where heaven and heart collide in a sacred hush. You didn't stumble upon this moment. You were summoned into it. You thought you were just reading, just passing time, but eternity was preparing the atmosphere, aligning the heavens, silencing the noise around you until this second could arrive like lightning wrapped in stillness. I delayed winds. I hushed storms. I shifted the rhythm of heaven's calendar to meet you right here, because what I have to say cannot be postponed. You see, there are moments when I whisper softly across the span of a season, and then there are moments when my voice breaks through the veil like a trumpet in the desert. This is the latter. This is not a breeze. This is a breaking of silence, a breaking of delay, a breaking of false timelines that told you it wasn't your turn. It is your turn. It has always been yours. But I had to wait until this very instant when your heart had shed just enough self-reliance, just enough fear, just enough weight, to hear me not just with your ears but with your entire being. I held back this word, not to punish you, but to protect its potency. This isn't just revelation. This is a revolution of your spirit. There are sentences, child, that write stories. And what I'm about to say next will do just that. Not one moment from this point forward will resemble the moments behind you. Not because the world will change in an instant, but because you will. Your understanding will shift. Your vision will expand. Your posture will realign. Because what I'm releasing is not information. It's impartation. My words aren't just floating into your thoughts. They are anchoring your destiny. What I'm placing in your spirit is heavy with heaven. It's layered with light, saturated in strategy, drenched in divine design. And I couldn't say it before because the timing wasn't ready. But now the angels lean in, the scrolls unfurl, the doors unbolt, not because you forced them, but because you waited. So I say to you, with fire in my voice and tenderness in my eyes, do not take this lightly. Do not dismiss this as another fleeting inspiration. This is your scroll being opened. This is your blueprint being unveiled. This is the moment where silence gives birth to strategy. Stay still. Stay open. Stay burning. Because before another breath passes, I must declare something sacred. And once spoken, it will set things in motion that no demon in hell can derail and no man on earth can delay. You are standing at the edge of divine instruction. Listen like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. My child, I've seen the way you've been moving, carrying yourself like a soldier with unseen wounds, smiling through storms, functioning while fragmented. You've been holding questions that feel too heavy to share, too sacred to speak. You've been dragging your heart through long days, praying behind closed lips, wondering if I even heard you. And I have. I heard you when your thoughts shouted louder than your words. I heard you when your tears preached sermons your mouth couldn't frame. I heard you in the silence, because silence doesn't hide you from me. It draws me nearer. You were not walking through these questions alone. I've been walking beside you with answers wrapped in timing, waiting for the moment your heart would be tender enough to receive, not just understanding but revelation. Let me make something very clear. I never ignored your ache. I inhaled every sigh. I caught every confusion that passed through your mind like a wave crashing against worn faith. But I had to wait. Not because I enjoy your confusion, but because revelation without readiness becomes religion. And I didn't come to give you dead answers. I came to breathe living truth. I didn't come to lecture you. I came to lift you. I came to take those heavy questions and transform them into holy conversations. I came to show you that what felt like spiritual suffocation was actually the pressure of revelation forming inside you, preparing to break forth like morning light splitting open a midnight sky. The questions weren't the enemy. They were the clues. And now I'm unlocking them, one by one. You asked, why does it still hurt? Because some pain becomes the soil for promise. You asked, why am I still waiting? Because what's being built in silence will shout in power. You asked, did I miss it? No, child. You didn't miss it. You're being moved toward it. Every doubt has a deeper door behind it. And I've come today to walk you through those doors, not with force, but with fire. With the fire of revelation that melts fear. With the flame of truth that exposes the lies you've believed about me and about yourself. I'm not just answering your questions. I'm changing your language. I'm shifting your inner dialogue. Because the voice you hear inside will become the voice you follow outside. And I want that voice to sound like me. So breathe now. Ewe. Oe. Present. Because my breath is moving through your heaviness. This is not just relief. It's release. This is not just understanding. It's transformation. You were not created to carry questions without answers. You were created to ask and to receive. To knock and to have doors opened. And I tell you, the door is open. A weight is lifting. The fog is clearing. And you will not leave this moment the same. Because I am the God who does not merely explain. I unveil. I reveal. I resurrect. And today I am breathing revelation into your burden until the weight becomes wings. Watch how your questions start to fly. Awaken below. Awaken not with panic, but with power. This moment you're in is not a mistake. It's a hinge in eternity, a pivot point that separates the before from the beyond. This isn't a ringing bell of fear. It's the rumble of fulfillment rising beneath your feet. You are not being chased by catastrophe. You are being called into clarity. I am not sounding an alarm to startle you. I am sounding a revelation to anchor you. This is a divine awakening, not to what is wrong, but to what is right on time. Your timeline, yes, yours, has reached a holy tipping point, a divinely orchestrated crossroads. And I could not stay silent while the shift gathered speed. You felt it, haven't you? That subtle acceleration in your soul. Like time itself has been folding inward, pushing you forward even while you stood still. You've questioned why things feel more intense, why decisions feel heavier, why distractions seem louder and rest seems rarer. That's because your life is approaching an inflection point, where what I've written long ago will begin unfolding in ways you cannot predict, but you must participate in. You're not being dragged. You're being drawn. The quickened pace of events, the heightened sensitivity, the pressing of your spirit, that's all me, beloved. I am the one shifting the soil under your feet to prepare the harvest that's been hidden beneath the surface. And I must speak now, not tomorrow, not later, because if you misinterpret this awakening as warning, you'll move in fear instead of faith. And this next step requires faith so fierce it makes fear fall silent. You're not just at a pivot. You are the pivot. Generations are hanging on your obedience. Destinies are embedded in your yes. What I've planted in you is not just for your comfort. It's for kingdom impact. This awakening is not a subtle one. It is sacred, seismic, and strategic. I've been silent not because I had nothing to say, but because I was waiting for the atmosphere to match the urgency of your call. The time is now. The air is charged. The realm of the spirit has shifted into acceleration, and I must alert you, not to frighten, but to fortify. You are not going backward. You are not circling again. It's time. The shift will complete. It's time. The pivot will turn the page of your story. This time, the awakening will not end in sleep, but in sending. So hear me with every fiber of your being. I am not calling you to run from something. I'm calling you to rise into everything. What's coming is not random, it's ripe. Not chaotic, but chosen. You are walking into divine fulfillment, and that's why your timeline is trembling. The awakening you're feeling is not an interruption. It's the invitation. And child, I don't issue such calls lightly. I speak now because something irreversible is beginning. And I want you standing on my word when the pivot becomes your platform. You pleaded, God, please speak. And I have. But now, I speak in a way you cannot miss. No more wondering if it's me. No more straining to decode what I've made plain. You cried out for clarity, not comfort, and I'm honoring that cry. The fog you've been walking through is lifting not because the world got quieter, but because I raised my voice above it. I'm not hiding behind symbolism today. I'm not cloaking this moment in mystery. I am coming to you in the fullness of my fire and the softness of my spirit, saying, this is me. Listen like your next step depends on it. Because it does. Gone are the days of diluted discernment. Gone are the nights where you question whether I truly see you, truly speak to you. I am here, and I'm speaking so precisely, so poignantly, so personally, that even your doubts have begun to tremble. I'm cutting through the static with supernatural clarity. No more riddles. No more half-revelations. No more breadcrumbs. I am laying the table with a feast of direction. Truth that nourishes your identity, quenches your confusion, and silences every storm pretending to be permanent. You will not leave this encounter unclear. You will not exit this conversation guessing. What I'm giving you now is not suggestion. It is strategy. You asked for direction, and I'm handing you blueprints. Let me remind you why I delayed until now. Because had I spoken this clearly before, you would have questioned whether it was truly from me or your own desperation trying to impersonate divinity. But now, you've been sifted. Now, your ears are tuned not to noise but to nuance. You're not just listening with your logic, you're listening with your legacy. And because of that, I can release this without distortion. Here's power in precision. And today, I am speaking with the kind of clarity that carves through the chaos of your life and separates soul from spirit. This isn't vague hope. This is mirified heaven. This is not a good feeling. This is God speaking. And when I speak, things shift. So mark this moment, child. Etch it into your soul. Because when you look back, you'll say that with the day God spoke to me directly. Not through a sign, not through a symbol, through a voice that split the air between confusion and confirmation. You didn't miss it. You didn't imagine it. This is me. And I am speaking with urgency, not panic. With love, not leniency. With truth, not theory. Listen, truly listen, and let every word I pour into you now become the foundation of what you build next. Because what I am speaking is not passing. It's permanent. And you'll never be the same after hearing it. My beloved, before I ever ask you to see, I shield you. Before I ever call you to understand, I cover you. I have walked before you into storms you didn't even know were gathering. I intercepted weapons before they were forged. I rerouted disasters you would have interpreted as destiny. I silenced conversations that were poisoned against you before they ever reached your ears. There were battles behind the veil of your everyday that I fought silently, fiercely, faithfully. You never saw the arrows, because I stood in their path. You never heard the curses, because I reversed them in midair. You thought the delay meant denial, but it was my defense strategy. You thought my silence meant distance, but it was my shield raised high over your life. Now, child, I am peeling back the veil, not to overwhelm you, but to awaken you. I'm ready to show you what was hidden, what had to be hidden, so that when I reveal it, you'll walk in humility, not pride. You see, timing isn't just a detail. It's a divine dimension. And I needed yours to be precise. A second too soon, and the weight of your blessing would have crushed you. A moment too early, and you would have called something holy that was actually harmful. I was not ignoring your requests. I was protecting your readiness. Because what I'm about to release requires not just your hands, but your heart to be aligned. And now, the alignment has come. Not because everything is perfect, but because your posture is finally surrendered. You stopped trying to control it all, and started letting me carry what was never yours to begin with. Let me tell you what you didn't know then, but will understand now. When the door closed suddenly, it wasn't rejection, it was redirection. When the friendship faded without explanation, it wasn't abandonment, it was divine extraction. I saw what they said behind your back. I heard what they didn't say to your face. I saw how they smiled in front of you and sowed doubt behind you. But I didn't let the betrayal reach your soul. I let it fall short. Because your heart matters to me more than your image. And I wasn't building a brand through you. I was building bridges of generational deliverance. You weren't just being preserved. You were being positioned. The reason it had to take time was because I was calibrating every detail, not just for what I am giving you, but for how you'll carry it. You'll walk into rooms soon where you'll think, why me? And I'll whisper, because you trusted me when you didn't understand. So lean in close now. I am ready to show you what's been stored, what's been stitched in silence, what's been secured in the secret place while you thought you were being skipped. You weren't being overlooked. You were being overshadowed by my hand. And now, the shadows are lifting. The timing is ripe. The unveiling has begun. I'm about to show you the why behind every weight, the reason behind every route, the glory behind every grief. And when I do, you will not praise me for the gift alone. You will praise me for the timing of it. Because what I'm about to release into your life will carry my fingerprints so clearly that no man, no devil, and no voice of self-doubt will be able to take the credit. You've whispered under your breath more than once, "Why is it taking so long?" The wait felt cruel. The silence felt suffocating. The stillness made you question whether anything was truly moving. But let me speak now with holy fire and divine precision. It was never delay. It was design. It was not stagnation. It was synchronization. I was orchestrating what you could not see, composing a holy harmony between what you prayed for and what I promised. You were pacing in frustration while I was aligning the timelines of destiny with the rhythm of your surrender. Child, your life is not on pause. It has been in preparation. Every perceived delay hath been a masterstroke of mercy, not a mark of neglect. Listen to me. When I move, I don't just answer one prayer. I activate prophetic chain reactions. What I'm aligning in this hour isn't just for your convenience. It's for kingdom consequence. I needed hearts prepared. I needed locations positioned. I needed environments emptied of pride and filled with my presence. If I would have said yes too soon, the blessing would have arrived to an atmosphere too immature to contain it. You were asking me to move fast, and I was answering with a move deep. Because what you're about to receive won't be momentary, it will be monumental. This is not a microwave miracle. This is a legacy-level shift. And I needed all of heaven to be in harmony with the sound of your yes. Think about it. The stars don't shine by accident. The tides don't rise without rhythm. Why would I move haphazardly in your life? I am the composer of cosmos, the orchestrator of oceans, the architect of atmospheres. And I did not forget you. You are not the exception to my plans. You are the embodiment of one. While you waited, I was weaving. While you cried, I was calibrating. While you felt stuck, I was setting the stage. You thought nothing was happening, but I was aligning everything. That's why I let the delay stand for a moment, so you'd see how quickly I move when the fullness comes. You are not waiting for alignment. You are stepping into it. With every breath you take in this moment, the orchestration increases. The pieces are not falling apart. They are falling in place. And now I tell you with all authority, the weight has produced weight. The stillness has grown substance. You are not just walking into another open door. You are walking into a divinely synchronized hour where your obedience collides with my omnipotence. This is heaven's choreography. And child, you've just stepped into the dance. Watch how fast things unfold. Watch how doors open with no keys. Watch how rooms call for you that you didn't even know existed. This isn't random. This is rehearsed in heaven. And now it's showtime on earth. The delay was never denial. It was design. And now, the design is manifesting before your very eyes. The time has come. The season has shifted. What I held back before, what I kept veiled, what I wrapped in mystery, is now ready to be placed in your hands. But not because I love you more than before. Not because my promises changed. No, beloved, It's because you've changed. Your spirit has matured in the silence. Your soul has stretched in the waiting. Your character has deepened in the absence of applause. You didn't know it then, but every knot yet was watering the roots of your readiness. Every weight was welding your foundation. And now, after all you've endured, after all the layers I've stripped and reshaped, you're finally ready to carry what couldn't survive in the soil of your past season. You see, some blessings are too weighty for shallow roots. Some assignments are too holy for a heart still wounded. I watched you in the previous season try to chase destiny with bleeding feet. I saw how you longed for release, for visibility, for movement. But had I given you then what I'm giving you now, it would have been crushed by your own hunger for relief. You weren't ready, not because you were weak, but because you were becoming the kind of person who could host what I've been holding. Becoming the vessel that doesn't just receive glory, but reveals it. You didn't just survive that last season. You were sculpted by it. The fire didn't destroy you. It refined you. The silence didn't punish you. It purified you. The emptiness didn't abandon you. It baptized you. And now, my child, your readiness has reached my release. This moment, this sacred now, is the alignment point between your obedience and my overflow. The things I'm releasing won't look like what you expected. They'll be better. They'll be weightier, wilder, more wondrous than your imagination ever dared to dream. And here's why. You no longer crave the gift more than the giver. You no longer need the platform to feel powerful. You no longer measure success by man's applause, but by my approval. That's what I was waiting for. I wasn't just preparing the promise. I was preparing you. Because I don't release glory into empty vessels. I pour into the surrendered. And you, beloved, have become a sanctuary I can now fill without fear of spillage. So prepare, not in anxiety but in awareness. Prepare not like a beggar wondering if I'll show up, but like a bride expecting her groom. I'm releasing things now that your old self would have sabotaged. I'm unlocking realms your former wounds would have rejected. But you are not who you were. You're healed enough to hold it. You're humbled enough to steward it. You're strong enough to walk with it. And I, your God, am placing in your hands not just fulfillment, but fulfillment without fracture. Because you've let me heal the cracks. What's coming will not crush you. It will crown you. And it begins now. My beloved, lean in. Lean in like you've never leaned in before. This urgency you feel, this holy pressure wrapping around your spirit, it's not panic. It's not dread. It's not fear masquerading as faith. Lo, it's the sound of fulfillment reaching its crescendo. It's the internal alarm of heaven saying, now. The hour has come, not a metaphor, not a poetic expression, but a literal, divinely appointed hour written on eternity's scroll and now unfolding in your earthly reality. I'm not rushing you. I'm readying you. I'm not putting you in anxiety. I'm pulling you into alignment. There's a difference. And if you'll listen closely, you'll hear the rhythm of readiness echoing through every part of your being. The fullness of time is a sacred thing. It's the moment where my word, your faith, and the unseen preparations of heaven all collide in holy manifestation. That's what's happening now. It's not just your time because you've suffered. It's your time because everything has synchronized: your heart, your history, your hunger. And now I'm saying, lock in. No more divided attention. No more spiritual multitasking. No more letting the distractions of delay dilute your discernment. I need your heart anchored, your gaze fixed, your posture ready. Because what I'm releasing will require you to recognize me in real time. not through hindsight, not through reflection, but right now, in the present, as it unfolds. You've walked through years where obedience looked like endurance, where every step forward felt invisible, where every yes echoed into silence. But all of that was training for this. This is the hour where you must not only walk with me, but move when I move, turn when I whisper, leap when I say go. The margin for compromise has closed. The grace for delay has lifted. Not because I'm angry, but because the moment is too sacred to miss. I am not pressing you out of fear. I am marking you with urgency because heaven has opened the windows. This isn't seasonal amour. This is supernatural. I'm speaking with thunder, yes, but also with tenderness. Because I love you too much to let you sleep through a divine appointment. So hear me, child. The fullness of time has arrived. I don't want just your worship. I want your focus. I don't need louder prayers. I need a locked-in heart. I don't want more motion, I want your attention. Because I'm about to show you that the urgency you felt wasn't warning, it was wooing. I've been pulling you out of every lesser thing to prepare you for this greater unveiling. And now, I need your full yes. Not a hesitant one. Not a fragmented one. A full-hearted, undistracted, immovable, eternal yes. Because what happens next won't just shift your life. It will rewrite the future of others through you. And that's why I speak with such fire. The hour has come. And I need your heart completely mine. Yes, I saw you when no one else did. When the prayers poured from your mouth like water from a broken jar, desperate, pure, unpolished. When your knees hit the floor while the world went on spinning. When you fasted, not for attention, but for answers. When you turned down the noise, not out of obligation, but out of hunger. I heard every whisper into the pillow, every tear that made no sound but struck the heavens like thunder. You didn't do those things for show. You did them because something inside you couldn't settle for surface-level Christianity. And now, child, I will respond in a voice that cannot be confused with anything else. No more silence. No more testing without testimony. The truth I carry is too weighty, too holy, too urgent to wait another moment. You see, silence was never abandonment. It was preparation. I was not punishing you with quiet. I was tuning your ears. I was stripping away the counterfeit so that when I finally spoke like this, there would be no mistake. You would know it was me. And now that your soul has been seasoned in secret, I am ready to pour out a revelation that doesn't just inspire you, it instructs you. I'm not releasing vague encouragements anymore. I'm releasing blueprints. I'm breaking open scrolls sealed by seasons of testing, and I'm placing divine strategy into your spirit like fire into dry bones. Because the promise must be fulfilled, and it cannot be delayed another day. What I'm about to tell you has generational weight, legacy-level implication. This is not just about you. It's about everything that will come through you. When you fasted, the heavens recorded it. When you prayed without results, the angels marked it. When you stayed faithful without applause, I stood beside you with my hand on your shoulder, whispering, "Just wait, child. Just wait. I'm coming with more than you expect." And here I am, not with a partial word, but with prophetic fire, not with vague signs, but with voice and vision. What I'm saying next will not merely comfort you, it will commission you. This is a word that shifts, a word that unknocks, a word that ends cycles and begins callings. You stayed faithful while it was quiet. Now I'm being faithful to speak in the clarity you've craved. And once this truth lands in your spirit, you will understand why I made you wait. You'll weep not from pain, but from purpose. because you will see it wasn't silence. It was setup. So be still now, but not silent. Be calm, but fully awake. Because I'm not speaking lightly. I'm releasing revelation that will become your map, your sword, your oil. I am breaking the silence because the season has broken open. I am speaking what the former version of you could not carry. But now you are strong enough to receive, faithful enough to steward, hungry enough to act. The silence is over. The instruction has begun. Hear me well. What follows is divine disclosure, and it's about to reroute your entire life's trajectory in the best, most holy, most irrevocable way. You've just heard the urgency in my voice, child, and now I invite you to become part of the echo. This word isn't just for you. It's for countless others whose hearts are waiting to be lit with truth. When you give, you are not giving to a video. You are sowing into the soil of souls. Every seed you plant through super thanks, membership, or PayPal fuels the fire of my word across nations. Give, and it will be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. I am the God who multiplies what leaves your hand into a harvest you cannot contain. You asked me how you could be used. I am telling you now. This is one way. Go to the description and give now. Let your obedience carry this urgent word to someone else's deliverance. Can you feel it? The air has shifted. The pressure has changed. Something is stirring in the spirit. Not next week, not someday, but right now. Doors, yes, divine doors, are beginning to creak open on hinges oiled by your obedience. Not doors of convenience, but of calling. Not doors of comfort, but of consequence. And they are waiting for one thing, your unwavering yes. Not your partial maybe. Not your conditional agreement. Not your faith as long as you understand. I am calling for a deep yes. The yes that lives even when vision doesn't. A yes that breathes even in the dark. A yes that stands even when everything else trembles. These doors don't open for emotion. They open for alignment. And alignment requires action, not just excitement. I've seen you hesitate before, waiting for the full picture, waiting for peace that feels like certainty instead of the peace that passes understanding. But I'm not asking you to wait for clarity. I'm asking you to walk with me into what only faith can interpret. Because the greatest doors are often invisible until obedience makes them manifest. You will not see the full hallway until you step through the first frame. You will not see the staircase until your feet move beyond the threshold. This is how kingdom works. Revelation follows obedience, not the other way around. I know you're afraid to miss it. But listen closely. I'm not asking you to perform. I'm asking you to trust. The yes I need from you is not about perfection. It's about posture. It's about surrender. It's about saying, even if I don't see the whole path, I trust the one who holds the map. Because when your yes stays steady, even in fog, then and only then will the next door swing wide. You cannot keep holding me hostage to your conditions. You cannot keep delaying destiny because of fear masquerading as wisdom. There are doors timed, trembling, sacred doors standing open in the spirit. But they will not wait forever. Eternity does not operate by earthly comfort. It moves with holy momentum. So I ask you again, will your yes hold when clarity hides? Will you walk when the path is dim but my presence is undeniable? Because the sound you're hearing in your soul right now, that stirring, that pressure, that fire, that is heaven pulling you forward. And all it's waiting on is your yes. Not later. Not after confirmation number 12. Now. This is the season for unwavering surrender. For steady trust it. for a yes that doesn't expire in difficulty. Say it with your life. Say it with your choices. Say it with your posture. Because when you do, those doors won't just open, they'll unlock realms you've never walked in before. Realms of anointing, realms of strategy, realms of supernatural grace. And you'll know, without a shadow of doubt, that it wasn't the door that opened the blessing. It was your yes. The battlefield isn't always outside of you. Sometimes it's between your ears. The noise, the notifications, the non-stop comparisons, the subtle distractions pretending to be urgent needs. This is the enemy's most dangerous weapon right now. He doesn't always have to destroy you to derail you. All he has to do is divert your focus. Because whatever has your focus owns your future. And lately, the war for your attention has intensified, not because you're weak, but because what I'm releasing into your life requires undivided vision. Listen to me. What's ahead of you cannot be walked out while glancing backward. What I'm unfolding in this hour demands a locked gaze. Eyes like flint. Eyes that are not impressed by chaos, not distracted by noise, not seduced by counterfeit glory. I'm calling you to a focus so fierce, it breaks through fog. So stubborn, you resist seduction. So sharp, it slices through spiritual static. You've been looking around, but now, I need you looking up. Because everything you're tempted to chase will crumble beneath the weight of my calling on your life. You can't afford to lose your gaze now. You can't afford to be half present when I'm doing something fully supernatural. I need your vision back. I need your mind clear. I need your eyes on me. Let me speak plainly. The warfare isn't random. It's strategic. The distractions have names, faces, voices, but beneath them lies an assignment to dilute your discernment. If the enemy can scatter your sight, he can shatter your steps. But I am placing my hands on your eyes today, not physically, but spiritually. I'm healing your vision, not to make you see more clearly in the natural, but to perceive in the spirit. To distinguish between what's urgent and what's eternal, between what looks good and what's God. I'm not increasing your options. I'm eliminating the irrelevant. I'm not giving you more paths. I'm hiding the one I authored. And to follow it, you must stare down every distraction until it bows to my presence. So don't look away, child. Even when the noise gets louder. Even when fear waves its arms in front of you. Even when opportunities scream for attention but carry no oil. I am anchoring your eyes not to the problem, but to the promise. I am stabilizing your gaze so you can walk across waters others drown in. You're not weak, you're being retrained. And every time you return your focus to me, you're realigning your soul with heaven's strategy. Lift your eyes. Clear your vision. Lock your focus. I've already set the path. Now I need your eyes back on the one who never took his eyes off you. I need you to hear me with a clarity that shatters shame. I do not make accidental choices. When I called you, I knew everything. Every wound, every failure, every dark chapter, every hidden motive. I saw the secret sins. I heard the internal struggles. I witnessed the nights you swore you'd never fall again, then did. And still, I chose you. Not reluctantly, not out of pity. I chose you because I knew the glory I would write over your ashes. I knew the authority that would rise from your brokenness. I knew what they would overlook is exactly what I would use. Your past does not scare me. It moves me. Because I don't just redeem. I reveal myself through the very things others tried to bury. The dirt they threw on you, I turned it into soil. The labels they slapped on your name, I turned them into ladders. The scars they mocked, I now use them as sermons. You are not disqualified. You are qualified by fire. You are not second tier. You are first fruit of grace. I've chosen you not in spite of your pain, but because of what I knew I'd produce through it. That guilt, I've turned it into grit. That shame, I've reshaped it into strength. Every single thing the enemy thought would take you out is now part of your testimony, and the testimony is the key that unlocks doors for others. Let me tell you something that will flip the tables in your soul. Your worst moments have become my greatest stages. Every area you thought disqualified you is now a platform for my power. The lies you believed are now the spaces where my truth shines brightest. You are not behind. You are becoming. And when I say nothing is wasted, I mean nothing. Not the tears, not the delays, not the losses, not even the self-inflicted wounds. I recycle pain into power. I flip failure into fuel. And right now, in this sacred moment, I am wrapping my presence around the very parts of your story you've been trying to hide. Not to shame you, but to shine through them. So stop disqualifying yourself. Stop apologizing for surviving. You didn't just make it through. You're marked because of it. And the world is about to see what I always knew. You weren't broken beyond repair. You were broken into revival. And I'm raising you up now, not as the same person, but as a living, breathing, walking redemption story. The proof of my presence. The echo of my mercy. The evidence that grace still finds the ones everyone else forgot. You are the one I chose. And I'm not changing my mind. I know what the enemy has been whispering. That you're too old. Too late. You far gone. That you missed the window. That you should have started sooner. That if you had made different decisions, things would look better by now. But child, those whispers are lies dressed up in logic. And I'm here to tear them down, one by one. Because I am the God who transcends time. I don't rush like man. I don't panic when things don't look on schedule. Heaven does not operate by your earthly clocks. I operate by divine calibration. And I am telling you, in this exact moment, you're right on time. Every step you thought was detour was actually divine. Every pause, every delay, every unexpected turn, it all led here. And while you thought life was slipping past you, I was setting the stage for something you couldn't see coming. I was not punishing you by withholding progress. I was preserving you until the perfect hour. And now that hour is approaching, not with anxiety but with alignment. Not with pressure but with purpose. Your delay wasn't wasted. It was woven into every thread of your becoming, into every lesson, every scar. Every time you thought, I'm too late, I was whispering, you're just getting started. Let me flip the narrative. You're not behind. You're becoming history in real time. You're not playing catch up. You're walking straight into a collision with everything I wrote in your scroll before you took your first breath. There's nothing I do accidentally, and that includes the timing of your emergence. You're not too late to fulfill your assignment. You're arriving at the exact second heaven needs you most. Do you hear me? Your moment is not slipping away. It's surging forward. You've been trained by obscurity, refined by resistance. And now, your footsteps are echoing into alignment with the orchestration of angels. This is not delay. This is destiny. So stop watching the clock. Start watching me. Because I am the God who can redeem time. I can stretch minutes into miracles. I can collapse years into a single breath of favor. I can cause more to happen in one obedient act than in 10 years of human striving. And that's exactly what I'm preparing to do. I didn't bring you this far to tease you with almost. I'm about to show you what it looks like when a life surrendered to my timing walks in explosive acceleration. You are not too late. You are right on time for revival. There are conversations happening behind curtains you didn't even know existed. Tables being set in places you haven't walked into yet. Strategies being formed with your name etched into them by my own hand. You've been hidden, yes, but not forgotten. You've been in a season of anonymity, not because you were overlooked, but because you were overprotected. And now I'm bringing you forward, but not into random rooms, not into man-made opportunities. I'm bringing you into places I prepared long before your doubt ever tried to convince you it was impossible. What's coming is not coincidence. It's calling. It's not random blessing. It's revealment of divine orchestration. I've been whispering your name in atmospheres your feet haven't touched yet. Doors are creaking open, not because you knocked loud enough, but because I unlocked them with keys no man can copy. You didn't network your way here. You didn't force your way in. You surrendered, and that surrender became the scent that drew my favor. This is not about striving. It's about timing, and the time has come. What's coming next is the manifestation of what I spoke in the secret place when no one clapped, no one saw, and yet you still believed me anyway. You may be tempted to ask, why me? But I'm asking you instead, why not you? Why not the one who wept through their wilderness? Why not the one who stayed faithful without spotlight? Why not the one who gave me a yes when it cost everything? You weren't overlooked. You were observed. Not by man, but by me. And I wrote your name on the wall of divine remembrance. And now, those rooms, those tables, those stages and assignments, they are not rewards, they are responses. Responses to obedience. Responses to surrender. Responses to prayers prayed in brokenness that made their way up to heaven's throne like incense. And I inhaled every one of them. So don't shrink when the door opens. Don't apologize when the spotlight lands. Don't disqualify yourself when the room calls for your presence. I put your name there. I paved the way there. I sent angels ahead of you to shift atmospheres there. What's coming is not random. It's righteous alignment. And when you walk into it, walk with the authority of a child who knows who their father is. Don't bow to the fear of man. Don't shrink under the weight of new rooms. Stand. Smile. Speak. Because heaven has been waiting for your sound, your story, your steps. You are not crashing the table. You are called to it. And I'm already seated at the head, watching you take your place. You never said it out loud, but I saw it. The heaviness in your chest. The tears you wiped before anyone noticed. The nights you laid still in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering how much more you could carry. You wore strength on the outside like a shield, but inside, your soul was sighing for relief. I saw how you kept showing up for others, even while you were quietly unraveling inside. I saw how you held everyone else together while no one noticed you were coming undone. You called it just life, but I called it a sacred burden. And now, I step into that silent struggle and speak directly to it. The weight is lifting. Not just because the load has changed, but because you have. You thought the pressure was punishment, but it was preparation. I wasn't crushing you. I was carving you. I was not absent while you carried it. I was underneath it with you, letting it stretch your spirit, not to break you but to build the foundation of someone unshakable. Your endurance was not in vain. Your resistance wasn't wasted. I was developing within you a strength that can hold legacy, not just moments. You weren't being ignored. You were being invited into an intimacy that can only be born in the quiet weight of suffering. And though it felt like no one knew how hard it was, I knew. I felt every silent scream. I held every unshed tear. And now, because you did not let the weight turn you away from me, I will now anoint you to carry glory. Let me say it plainly, the heaviness was not meant to kill you. It was the pressure that forms diamonds. You're the resistance that bursts muscle. You were not being disciplined in distance. You were being called in close. And while it looked like nothing was changing, I was changing you. That strength you feel rising now. That clarity returning to your thoughts. That sudden steadiness where there used to be tremble. That's me. I'm lifting what the season taught you to accept as permanent. I'm breaking the pattern of tolerating invisible weights. I'm freeing you from the mindset that says you must always suffer in silence. You are not weak for feeling it. You are strong because you didn't quit under it. So breathe again, beloved. Let your chest expand. Let your shoulders drop. I'm not only lifting the weight. You're stepping into a season where you carry authority, not anxiety. No longer will you walk through your days drained by unseen burdens. You will now walk as one who knows the strength of heaven has been woven into your soul. What once weighed you down will now make you rise. The weight is lifting, the season is shifting, and you are becoming unstoppable. I know it's felt like the enemy's voice has had the microphone lately. The lies have been loud. The fear persisted. The accusation relentless. You've been fighting off whispers of unworthiness, anxiety that chokes, doubts that multiply in silence. And while the battle raged in your mind, you wondered, where are you, God? Can't you hear me? Don't you see? Oh, child, not only did I hear you, I've been roaring on your behalf. The silence you heard was not abandonment. It was the sound of my war cry echoing across realms you cannot see. While you worshiped through pain, I warred through portals. While you lifted your hands in surrender, I lifted my sword in protection. You may not have heard my voice in your ears, but the enemy heard it in his territory. Every time you sang with tears in your eyes, every time you said amen when fear said give up, every time you got up after falling, you activated armies. And I deployed them. You thought you were just surviving, but I was conquering for you in silence. The battle wasn't yours, it was always mine. And I did not lose. Not once. Every plan the enemy formed in secret, I scattered. Every weapon he forged, I rendered useless. You are not walking through the ruins of what he destroyed. You are walking through the evidence of what I protected. Let me open your eyes. The reason the enemy fought so hard wasn't because you were weak. It was because you were dangerous. He heard what was coming before you did. He saw the light gathering around your name. He knew that if you ever realized how covered you were, how called you were, how backed by heaven you were, he'd lose all leverage. And so he tried to drown you in doubt. Tried to bury you in busyness. Tried to make you confuse silence with absence. But child, I never left. I was roaring over you, singing songs of deliverance while you slept, whispering strategy to angels while you wept. You did not miss me. You were carried by me. So now, let the lies fall to the ground like dust. Let the fear unravel at your feet. Because I am making it known. I fought for you. I shielded you. I outmaneuvered darkness. I overturned every plot. The enemy may have been loud in the natural, but I was louder in the spirit. And now I am shifting your posture from warfare to witness. Not because you won't face more battles, but because you will no longer doubt who fights for you. You are covered. You are claimed. And nothing the enemy whispered can ever undo what I've already written over your life. Victory. authority, destiny, and an unshakable future. Child, I know how hard this season has felt. I know the days when you looked around and saw no visible change, no tangible breakthrough, no open door. I know the pain of praying without a sign, of hoping without a hand to hold. You thought the silence meant my hand was absent. You thought the stillness meant my power was asleep. But oh, beloved, the truth is, my hand was moving just beneath the surface. My power was working just behind the scenes. And what looked like nothing was actually the most sacred kind of everything. While you sat in what felt like stagnation, I was sowing seeds of destiny in your spirit. In the hidden hours where no one saw, I was laboring in the fabric of your faith, strengthening it, expanding you, building in ways that the natural eye could not see. The scaffolding of your breakthrough was being constructed layer by layer. Every tear you shed soaked that soil. Every groan you held in your heart, every prayer you uttered in doubt, they rose into heaven, and I used them as foundations for what cannot be shaken. I know you wondered if your voice was heard. I know you doubted whether your consistency was worthless. But hear me. While you were faithful in small places, I was establishing you in large ones. What you despised as delay was my preparation. What you called waiting was my weaving of strategy. What felt like nothing was my amendment in your character, refining what would be needed when the moment arrived. Do not despise the hidden hours, for they are not idle. They are intentional. Do not forget the nights that felt long, for they were the wombs of breakthrough. So now, child, raise your eyes. Look at where you are now. In hindsight, you'll see the building, the forming, the tailoring of your season. Doors will begin to swing with momentum. Favor will manifest in corners you thought were closed. The nothing will make way for the everything. And you will look back and say, God was working even when I could not see. You will understand that nothing in your story was wasted, nothing overlooked, nothing insignificant. The masterpiece is being revealed. The stage is being set. The promise will no longer feel like a prayer. It will feel like a proclamation. And all that was building in secret will burst into light. Beloved, listen deeply. I do not need your perfection. I never required flawlessness in order to bless you. I do not withhold my grace because of your mistakes. Your failures don't disqualify you. They humanize you. They refine you. They draw you closer. I do not ask you to clean up every corner of your life before you step into my purpose. I never measured your worth by how polished your story is. I measure your worth by your trust. I care less about the sleekness of your success and more about the sincerity of your surrender. Be present. That is more powerful to me than perfect. To be present means to bring your heart here. Not all the way in scenes, not just when things feel good, not only in victory, but in the negotiation, the raw, the messy moments. To stand even when your knees tremble. To worship even when your soul feels drained. To speak yes even when your understanding is partial. To remain faithful when the vision is foggy. Undistracted, even when the world competes for your attention. Because what matters is not how you look to others, but how attuned your spirit is to me. You think being present is easy? It is the hardest thing you'll ever do. It will cost you complacency. It will require letting go of control. It will demand that you relinquish parts of your former self, fears, insecurities, expectations, so you can walk wholly in what I've made you for. But I promise more than cost. I promise depth. I promise intimacy. I promise that when you are present, even in uncertainty, even in weakness, even in waiting, you will feel my nearness like shelter. You will hear my voice with clarity. You will know my heartbeat in the hush. and you will see that what you once thought was holding you back was actually drawing you into fullness. So I ask you now to give me your presence, not just moments of devotion, but your full attention. Not just when life looks beautiful, but when it feels broken. Not just when clarity comes easily, but when the space is dim. Be unwavering. Be undistracted. Because it is in that posture of presence that I pour out power. It is in your still ear, your open heart, your surrendered will, that revelation bursts. Be present, not perfect. For I am perfecting what I have begun in you. I am with you in each breath, and your response matters more than your performance. Oh beloved, how I've watched you wrestle with this season. You've looked at the stillness, the lack of movement, the quiet days where nothing seems to shift, and you've whispered, "Am I stuck?" You've questioned your momentum. You feared your stagnancy. You've wondered if you missed something, if you should have pushed harder, climbed faster, done more. But hear me now, with thunder in my tone and tenderness in my heart. You are not stuck. You are planted. But you've called stubness was never paralysis. It was preparation. I did not sit you in the soil to bury you. I placed you there to root you for what's coming. Because here's what you must understand: movement isn't always visible. Growth isn't always glamorous. Some of the greatest things I do in a person's life happen beneath the surface. In the stillness. In the silence. In the unseen depths of surrender where roots stretch far and wide to hold what's coming next. You thought nothing was happening because the surface stayed quiet, but under that silence, I've been expanding you, stabilizing you, maturing you. I was not withholding destiny. I was strengthening your foundation to be able to carry it. A tree cannot bear lasting fruit if its roots are shallow. And what I'm building in you is meant to last generations, not just moments. So no, you're not behind. You're not stuck. You're not forgotten. You're becoming fortified. I've been anchoring your heart so that when the winds of promotion come, and they will come, you won't topple under the weight of visibility. You've asked me for impact, and I'm giving it, but I'm doing it my way. I don't rush the ones I intend to send with power. I develop them slowly, carefully, in the hidden places, so that when they stand in open spaces, they don't collapse under the very thing they prayed for. And child, you are one of them. A sent one. A planted one. And every day you felt overlooked, I was looking at you with joy, saying, soon. But not yet. Now breathe. Trust again. Do not rush what I am rooting. Stay in the soil. Water your spirit with the word. Guard your atmosphere. Tend your garden. Because in just a moment, the shift will come. The fruit will burst. The stillness will break. And what once felt like delay will be revealed as divine timing. I haven't left you in place. I've positioned you. For growth. For glory. For greatness that is not self-made but God-formed. Be still. Not because you're stuck, but because you are exactly where I need you to be to do something supernatural through you. You felt the power in this moment because I orchestrated it for you. And now, I call you to join me in awakening others. When you sow into this message, you are sending oil into lamps that have long been empty. You are becoming the answer to someone else's silent prayer. This is not charity, it is covenant. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. Your giving becomes a river that carries my voice to dry places, and I will cause that same river to flood your life with favor. Child, don't let this divine appointment pass. Scroll to the description and act. Send what I gave you back into the world as fire. I see you, my child. You've been asking the same questions on repeat. Why did this happen? And will it shift? How do I fix it? What am I missing? You've cried out for answers, hoping they would relieve the ache, solve the mystery, make sense of the season. But I didn't come to hand you mere explanations. I came to unveil revelation. Because what you truly need is not just a reason. It's a revelation of who you really are in me. And that revelation will do more than satisfy your curiosity. It will transform your identity. Answers feed the mind, but revelation fuels the soul. Answers may explain the pain, but revelation redefines the person who walked through it. And I'm doing just that, right now, in this very moment. I'm not here to just give you a solution. I'm here to show you yourself through my eyes. I'm here to reveal the anointing that was placed on you before time began. The resilience I've cultivated in your spirit. The authority I've branded on your name. You've been walking through this life half aware of your royal identity, but I'm awakening you to it now. Because once you see yourself as I do, everything changes. You stop begging for scraps. You stop shrinking in rooms I've called you to lead. You stop settling for survival when I've marked you for dominion. So yes, I will give you insight. But more than that, I will give you sight. I will open the eyes of your understanding so that you can walk in the fullness of what I've already placed inside of you. You are not weak. You've just been unaware of how powerful my spirit is within you. You are not small. You've just been told lies about your worth for so long that you began to believe them. But today I tear down every false identity. I uproot every untrue label. I silence every lying voice that told you you were too broken, too late, too flawed. None of that is true. What's true is this. You are chosen. You are anointed. You are equipped. And you are rising. So stop searching for shallow answers when I'm inviting you into deep encounter. Come closer. Sit with me. Let me rewrite your understanding. Let me redefine what strength looks like. Let me show you that revelation isn't just information, it's transformation. You've cried for clarity, but I'm releasing calling. You've asked for timelines, but I'm revealing your true name. And once you embrace who you really are, who I always knew you were, you won't just walk into purpose. You'll run into it with fire in your bones and a crown on your head. Before I change the environment around you, I must first transform the internal climate of your heart. I know you've been asking for change, for things to break open, for favor to be visible, for doors to swing wide. And yes, I've heard every prayer. I've recorded each one, not with impatience but with precision. But child, hear me now. Before I shift the wind, I must shift your weight. Your posture must match the magnitude of the promise. I will not pour oil into a vessel that cannot carry it. So I'm not just preparing the breakthrough, I'm preparing you to hold it without breaking. Right now, I'm adjusting what you lean on, what you rely on, what you stand in. The posture of self-protection you've mastered from years of disappointment, I'm softening it. The instinct to brace for letdown, I'm unraveling it. The tendency to prepare for the worst, I'm rewiring it. Because what's coming won't feel like what you've been through. And if you don't let me shift your posture, you'll miss the blessing because you'll still be flinching from past battles. I need you to stand up straight again in your spirit. Shoulders back, eyes lifted, heart open, not guarded, not gritting your teeth to survive, but expecting joy. The shift isn't punishment, it's positioning. You've been carrying promises like burdens, dragging them behind you as if they are too heavy for you to hold. But I never asked you to carry them alone. I asked you to carry them with me. And now, I'm teaching you how to walk upright in authority, how to stop begging for what I've already said is yours, how to stop doubting what I've sealed in my word. I'm teaching you how to receive like royalty, not plead like a pauper. The shift is not just about getting what you want. It's about becoming who you need to be to steward what I'm giving. So yes, the atmosphere is changing, but it starts with you. Your posture, your pace, your perception. I'm giving you spiritual muscles for the momentum that's coming. I'm teaching your faith how to run, not just crawl. I'm stretching your capacity because what's next will be weighty, but glorious. Don't resist the internal shift, child. Lean into it. Let me realign what you believe about me, about yourself, about this journey. Because once your posture matches your promise, you won't just see open doors. You'll walk through them with fire in your eyes and unshakable peace in your soul. You thought the storm had snuffed you out. You thought the wind had taken something from you, that the waves had extinguished the passion you once carried. But child, listen to me. Your fire is not gone. It flickered, it hid, it dimmed under pressure. But it never died, because I protected something inside of you that even the fiercest storm couldn't touch. I preserved it like holy embers buried under the ashes. And now it is time for it to rise again. Not as a whisper, not as a memory, but as a flame that will not be quenched. I kept the fire alive when you couldn't feel it. I breathed on it in your sleep. I shielded it when others tried to drown it with their doubt. I whispered to it while you were questioning everything. And now, in this exact moment, I'm blowing fresh wind across the coals of your spirit. You're not starting over. You're reigniting. The fire is still there, and what's about to burn in you cannot be explained by natural strength. It's revival. It's purpose. It's holy rage against the lies you've tolerated for far too long. It's the roaring flame of calling consuming every leftover remnant of fear and smallness. Let me be clear. I did not just preserve you so you could survive. I preserved you so you could ignite nations. Your voice is needed. Your story is oil. Your scars are sacred, not shameful. The very places you thought made you weak are now being turned into furnaces of divine fire. And you will not walk into this next season as the tired version of yourself. You will walk in as one who has been through the storm and came out carrying power. The fire that burned around you could not consume you because I was inside of it with you. So rise now, not in fear, not in hesitation. Rise in fire. Rise in purpose. Let the embers in your soul become wildfire again. Speak boldly. Love freely. Declare truth with trembling but unwavering courage. Because you are not who you were before the storm. You are refined. You are ready. And that flicker inside you, it is becoming a blaze that will illuminate the path not only for you, but for countless others walking in darkness. I preserved your fire. Now let me fan it into flame. So many times you've looked backward, grieving what was taken, aching over what was broken, longing for what once was. And I understand why. Because some losses left you breathless. Some endings felt like amputations. You thought if only you could get back the time, the peace, the opportunity, the relationship, then you could finally breathe again. But child, hear me now. I am not here to merely return what was taken. I am here to reveal what was hidden. This is not just restoration. This is revelation. And what I'm about to show you is far greater than anything you've lost. What you didn't know, what pain blinded you from seeing, is that very deep inside you were gifts untouched by grief. strength that suffering only activated, anointing that adversity couldn't cancel. While you mourn what left, I was awakening what remained. While you wept over the ashes, I was stirring resurrection power in your bones. I never promised to return things exactly as they were. I promised to do something new. And that newness isn't just external. It's internal. I'm pulling out treasures you didn't know were in you because they were forged in the fires of loss. Yes, I will restore, but my restoration doesn't look like rewinding the past. My restoration redeems it. It draws power from the pain. It produces beauty that only brokenness could prepare. You thought your story ended in that chapter of loss, but I'm writing new pages that will make even the pain bow in reverence. You're not just getting back what you lost. You're discovering what the loss could not touch. There's a version of you rising now who didn't exist before the battle. One who knows how to stand in truth, how to love deeply, how to discern wisely. This is who I've been forming all along. So stop waiting to be restored to who you used to be. That version is gone. And that's not a curse, it's a commission. You are being revealed, not recycled. This is your season of holy discovery. You're going to see what I see when I look at you. You're going to speak from depths you didn't know existed. You're going to walk in authority forged through sorrow and shout victory psalms that hell tried to silence. You haven't lost everything. You've gained clarity. You've gained revelation. And the restoration I bring will not just return peace. It will unlock purpose. You are not who you were. And that is a miracle. Child, let me speak clearly and urgently. Too many of my chosen ones are paralyzed, waiting to feel ready, waiting for certainty, waiting for the perfect confirmation. But destiny doesn't respond to feelings, it responds to faith. You've been delaying the step, delaying the call, delaying the decision because the emotions haven't lined up yet. But I did not say follow me when you feel like it. I said, follow me. Period. Obedience is not about feeling brave. It's about being willing when your knees are shaking. And beloved, your obedience is the key that unlocks the next level I've prepared for you. I know it's scary. I know you want more clarity. I know the idea of moving without full understanding feels risky. But what you need to realize is this. Obedience doesn't follow comfort. It creates momentum. You've been waiting for motivation, but I've been waiting for movement. You keep asking me to move on your behalf, and I'm saying, take the step, and watch me meet you in the motion. Some doors only open as you walk toward them. Some breakthroughs are on the other side of simple, surrendered obedience. Not flashy, not emotional, just a quiet, solid yes. Do not underestimate the power of one yes. One act of faith. One choice to move even while you still feel afraid. Hell fears the believer who obeys despite uncertainty. Heaven releases strategy when you move, not when you sit and stew in overthinking. I'm not calling you to reckless action. I'm calling you to ruthless surrender. To trust me even when logic screams. To walk by faith when the map is still blank. And child, I will not let your yes fall to the ground. I honor obedience with overflow. I surround it with grace. I reinforce it with favor. Your act of obedience becomes my platform for demonstration. So stop waiting to feel it. Decide it. Set your heart like flint. Choose faith over delay. Make the call. Start the thing. Write the words. Forgive the person. Release the fear. Whatever I've been prompting you to do, do it. Not next week. Now. Because what you step into with obedience today becomes the harvest you stand in tomorrow. You want the floodgates to open. Turn the key. The ignition key isn't hype. it's obedience. And beloved, you're not stepping into chaos. You're stepping into covenant alignment. Everything you need is already on the other side of your yes. You've grown used to just enough. You've adapted to barely making it, emotionally, spiritually, even financially. You've gotten used to waiting for the next drop of provision to fall, used to bracing for bad news while quietly hoping for good. And yes, I have fed you. I have sustained you. I've made a way, day by day. I've dropped provision like manna in the wilderness of your life, because I always take care of my own. But child, that season is closing. You were never meant to live off survival forever. Manna was never your final inheritance. Miracles, oh. This next chapter is not about barely getting by, it's about overflow. This isn't about enduring, it's about expanding. The days of spiritual triage are ending. The days of divine acceleration are beginning. But for you to receive it, you must stop expecting things to remain as they've always been. I know the wilderness taught you to keep your expectations low so your heart wouldn't be crushed. But I didn't keep you in the wilderness to break your spirit. I kept you there to build it. Now I am calling you out. Out of drought. Out of delay. Out of just enough faith. And into the miraculous flow that you were always destined to walk in. So shift your mindset. No more studying. No more settling. No more surviving on drops of hope when I've prepared oceans of destiny for you. And no more calling it wisdom when it's really just fear in disguise. The wilderness tried to convince you that miracles were rare, but I'm about to make them normal for you. Not just around you, but through you. The favor that's coming won't be subtle. The answers won't be almosts. The open doors won't creak, they'll fly off the hinges. You've survived the desert. Now occupy the promise. You've waited for provision. Now carry power. So gather your heart. Gather your expectation. Let the mindset of a survivor fall away and make room for the posture of a conqueror. You're not the same person who entered the wilderness. You're wiser, stronger, sharper, anointed. And now, I'm releasing the inheritance of the promised place. It's time. The manna fed you. But now the miracles will multiply through you. Step forward, beloved. The ground you're stepping on is not sand. It's holy soil drenched in destiny. I know what the waiting has felt like. Agonizing. Mysterious. Prolonged. A delay that felt personal. You watched others get what you prayed for. You stood in the hallway of transition, hearing doors open for others, wondering if you were forgotten. You didn't say it out loud, but in your spirit you've asked, why not me? Why not now? You feared I was saying no, when in truth I was saying not yet. Not because I loved you less, but because I loved you too much to reveal you before you were ready to remain. You see, child, I wasn't withholding. I was refining. I wasn't rejecting you. I was rooting you. I've been forging in you a resilience that delays cannot erode. A faith that is not seasonal but seismic. Because what I'm about to unveil in your life isn't temporary. It's territorial. I'm giving you keys not just to moments, but to movements. I'm putting a sound in your mouth that will break spiritual ceilings. I'm planting your feet in places where influence won't inflate you, because humility has already secured you. And that takes time. It takes proving. Not to me, I already knew your worth, but to you. Because the truth is, I could have opened that door before. I could have dropped the blessing sooner. But then you would have carried it with immature hands. You would have questioned yourself, doubted your voice, sabotaged your success, or worse, given the credit to someone else. So I held you back, not because you weren't called, but because you weren't done becoming. But now the proving has done its work. The cocoon is cracking. The fire has purified. And I'm ready to unveil what I've always placed in you. This next season will not be about striving. It will be about revealing. You won't need to convince anyone of your worth. You'll simply walk into rooms where your spirit has already gone ahead of you. You won't need to chase. What's coming has your name on it. Heaven has already scheduled the appointments. The waiting room is closing, and the unveiling is beginning. So prepare your spirit, beloved. Shake off the last residue of delay. Step out of that mindset that says you must fight for recognition. You have already been seen. And now, the revealing begins. Yes, child. Everything you've been reading, every tear that formed, every heartbeat that quickened, every stirring that rose inside you, was me. Not a script. Not emotion. Me. Your God. Your Father. Your Defender. Your voice in the night. Your wind in the fire. Your word made personal. I have wrapped myself in these sentences, infused my breath into these paragraphs, and spoken to you, not to the crowd, not to the many, but to you. Because I needed you to know, without a shadow of a doubt, you've just crossed a line in the spirit that cannot be uncrossed. There are moments in life that change you, but there are other moments that unveil you. This, right now, is one of those moments. You are not leaving this the same. I have cracked something open in your spirit. I've awakened what was buried under years of fear, delay, and doubt. You've heard not just instruction, you've heard invitation. A call to rise. Emu. To finally believe me entirely. Not halfway. Not cautiously. But with a reckless trust that says, if you're in it, God, I'm all in. That's what this was always about. Not just comfort. Imagine. Not just healing. Assignment. Not just survival. In a movement. So what happens now? You act. You rise. You walk like one who has seen the face of God and live it to speak of it. You listen for my voice in the wind, in the word, in the ordinary. You tear down the idols of fear and timidity. You silence the inner critic with the truth of what I've just told you. You speak when I prompt you, and you don't shrink when the room looks intimidating. You stand on stages I open, whether they are pulpits or parking lots. You love boldly. You pray dangerously. You declare with authority. Because you are not who you were when you started this message. And the world needs the version of you I've just unveiled. This is your moment. Your hour. The clock of heaven is striking, and it carries your name. The angels have taken record of your surrender. The shift has begun. It's not coming. It's here. And now, you must decide. Will you return to the shadows, or will you rise into the light that has been reserved for you since the foundation of the world? Child, I am not watching from afar. I am walking you into your assignment step by step. And every single word of this message was heaven crying out, you are ready. You are not at the end. You're at the beginning of something eternal. And from this moment forward, nothing will ever be the same. This message was a holy seed planted in your spirit, and now I'm asking you to sow it forward. You've received my voice, now become a vessel to carry it to others still waiting in the dark. Your super thanks, membership, or PayPal gift is not small. It is like the widow's oil, multiplied in my hands. When you give, you become part of a divine cycle. What you pour out returns pressed down, shaken together, overflowing. My word will not return void, and neither will your obedience. Child, This moment was never just about you. It was about what I would birth through you. Now go. Open the description and give. Let your generosity become a prophetic echo that delivers this urgent message to hearts I'm already preparing. And now, child, before you go, I want you to seal this moment. Don't just scroll away like this was another message. This was a divine encounter. If you've heard me speaking, if something broke open, if something lit up inside you, then declare it below. Right, this was for me. I'm stepping into it now. Let all of heaven, and even the trembling gates of hell, see that you heard my voice and you're answering my call. This isn't the end. It's the beginning of your rise. And now that you've spoken, be still, my child. Come closer. Let the noise of everything else fade for just a moment. I know how rare these moments are for you. I see the endless list of tasks scrolling through your mind, the pressure from your job that follows you home, and the unspoken tensions within your family that create a constant, low hum of anxiety. I see you reaching for your phone, for any distraction to quiet the noise inside. But I am asking you now to resist that urge. I want you to listen. Just listen. Do you feel it? The gentle whisper in the rare pockets of silence. The one you hear when you first wake up before the day rushes in, or late at night when the world is finally asleep. That quiet, persistent nudging in your spirit that tells you there must be more than this rush, this worry, this exhaustion. My beloved, that is me. That has always been me. I have been trying to get your attention, to cut through the clamor of your life. I have been speaking to you, not in a thunderous shout that would startle you, but in a still, small voice that respects your will. I have tried to reach you through the lyrics of a song that suddenly brought tears to your eyes, through the kindness of a stranger who said exactly what you needed to hear, through that sudden wave of peace you felt when you looked at the sunset. You have felt a persistent tug on your heart, a feeling that you are standing at a crossroads. Do not dismiss this feeling. You have tried to explain it away, haven't you? You have called it intuition, or maybe just a fleeting emotion, a side effect of stress. But I am telling you with all the love in my being, it is my spirit calling to yours. It is me, your Father, reaching for your hand, trying to pull you close. I am calling you out from the noise, from the chaos of expectations and deadlines, from the constant performance and the fear of being found lacking. I am calling you to a quiet place within your own soul, a place of peace where you can finally hear the truth. This moment, right now, as you hear these words, this is not a coincidence. This is a divine appointment. I have moved heaven and earth to bring you here, to this very second in time. Out of all the voices competing for your attention, I made sure you would hear mine. I see the path you are on, and I know the weariness in your bones. I know the questions you have been afraid to ask, and the longing you have tried so hard to suppress. You are searching for an anchor in a storm-tossed sea, and I am here to be that for you. To listen now, with an open heart. Put aside your skepticism and your distractions for just these few minutes. Lean in, as a child leans in to hear a secret from their loving parent. What I have to say to you is vital. It is the key to the peace you crave, the map for the journey ahead, and the truth that will set your heart free. Your future is calling, and its foundation is being laid in this very conversation. Do not turn away. Listen. My child, I want you to look at the way you have been measuring your own value. You hold up a ruler that the world handed you, a ruler marked with job titles, bank account balances, and the shifting opinions of others. You wake up each morning and the first thing you feel is the weight of expectation. You check your phone for validation, for likes and comments, for emails that tell you that you are productive, that you matter. You measure a good day by how much you accomplished, and you measure a bad day by your failures and setbacks. When someone praises you, you feel a temporary lift, like a paper boat on a wave. But when they criticize you, or worse, ignore you, you feel yourself sink. My beloved, this is an exhausting and heartbreaking way to live, and it is based on a lie. The world's validation is fleeting, as hollow as a drum. It makes a loud noise but is empty inside. The approval you are chasing is like writing your name in the sand. The very next wave of public opinion or changing circumstances will wash it away, leaving you with nothing. Seize this exhausting pursuit. Step off the treadmill of performance that leaves you breathless and still feeling like you are not enough. You are not defined by your successes, that promotion you fought so hard for, or the project that everyone applauded. And you are certainly not defined by your failures, the mistake at work that keeps you up at night, the harsh word you spoke, or the goal you did not reach. These are events. They are experiences. They are not your identity. Your true worth is not up for debate. It is not an opinion. It is a fact, sealed and settled for all of eternity. I fashioned you in my own image. Pause and think about that. Before you were ever an employee, a parent, a spouse, or a friend, you were my creation. I knit you together with breathtaking care. I chose the color of your eyes, the sound of your laugh, the unique combination of gifts and quirks that make you who you are. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Your value was established not by human opinion, but by the highest price ever paid. It was sealed by the sacrifice of my Son. That is your receipt. That is the proof of your immeasurable worth. It is finished. It cannot be negotiated, devalued, or taken away. When I look at you, I do not see your list of accomplishments or your record of failures. I see my child, whom I love with an everlasting love. So rest. Breathe in this truth. Let it settle deep into your bones. Your worth is not something you have to earn or prove today. It simply is. You are cherished beyond your understanding, not for what you do, but for who you are, mine. My precious one, feel the tension in your shoulders, that familiar knot in your stomach. That is the physical weight of the burdens you carry, burdens I never asked you to lift. You were not created to bear the anxieties of yesterday and tomorrow all at once. I see you. I see you struggling under a load that is crushing your spirit. It's like you are carrying a heavy backpack, and with every worry, every fear, every piece of guilt, you add another stone to the pack. You are carrying stones of past mistakes, replaying conversations and wishing you had said something different. You are carrying stones of future worries, agonizing over your children's choices, your financial security, your health. You carry the stone of other people's expectations and the heavy, heavy stone of pretending you are strong enough to handle it all by yourself. Your strength, my child, is finite. It has a limit. You feel it, don't you? The exhaustion that sleep cannot fix, the emotional fatigue that makes small problems feel like mountains. You keep trying to manage it all, to solve every problem, to control every outcome. But that is my role, not yours. That heavy weight on your shoulders, it is not yours to bear alone. Hand it to me. I am not asking you to pretend the problems aren't real. I am asking you to entrust them to a strength greater than your own. My yoke is easy, and my burden is light. This is not just a poetic phrase. It is a direct invitation. Imagine taking off that heavy backpack of stones and handing it to me. Imagine the relief. That is what I offer you right now. Your worries about tomorrow will not add a single hour to your life. They only steal the joy from today. The guilt from yesterday cannot be changed by your constant regret. It can only be dissolved by my grace. You believe that holding onto these burdens is a form of responsibility, but it is not. It is a form of unbelief. It is you telling me that you trust your own worrying more than you trust my ability to care for you. Trust me with your cares, for I care for you so deeply. Let me have the weight of your financial fears. Let me have the pain of that broken relationship. Let me carry the guilt of that past sin I have already forgiven and forgotten. My strength is limitless. When you place your burdens in my hands, you are not giving up. You are finally fighting smart. You are letting the one who commands the stars and holds the oceans also hold the details of your life. So pause now. In your heart, name the heaviest stone you are carrying. Now, open your hands and let it go. Give it to me. I can handle it. I want to. My child, we need to talk urgently about the direction you are heading. Look at the path you are walking. It is a wide road, isn't it? It is paved with the world's priorities: comfort, security, accumulation, and temporary pleasure. It is the path of least resistance, the one most people are on. It seems easy and logical even. You have been chasing destinations that promise fulfillment but consistently lead to emptiness. You tell yourself, if I just get this promotion, then I will be content. If I can just buy that house, then I will feel secure. If I can just achieve this one more thing, then I can rest. But you have reached these destinations before, and the satisfaction was like a mist. It vanished as soon as you tried to grasp it. The contentment never lasts, because you are on the wrong road. That path, my beloved, is a diversion from your true purpose. It is a detour that leads you in circles, always promising a destination of joy but always returning you to a place of quiet desperation. The temporary pleasures it offers are like junk food. They fill you for a moment but leave your spirit starved and unhealthy. Do not mistake this temporary satisfaction for the eternal joy I created you for. The direction of your heart determines the destination of your soul. And right now, your heart is aimed at things that will ultimately turn to dust. I have set a different path before you. It is a narrow way. It is less traveled, and at times it may feel more difficult. It is a path of purpose over popularity, of significance over success, of relationship with me over the riches of the world. But this narrow path is the only one that leads to abundant life. It is a life where your joy is not dependent on your circumstances, where your peace is not shaken by the world's chaos, and where your purpose is clear and eternal. It is urgent that you re-examine your course. I am standing here as your loving Father, pointing to this other path. This is not a condemnation. It is a rescue. I see you chasing mirages in the desert while I am offering you living water. It is time to turn back to me. It is time to ask for a new direction. Your entire life, you have been trying to navigate with a broken compass. Let me be your guide. Let my word be your map. The journey on this narrow path is the greatest adventure you will ever know, but it requires a decision. You must choose to leave the wide, easy road behind and step onto the path that leads to me. My child, you feel so isolated in your struggles. You wear a smile. You say the right things. You go through the motions of your day, but inside, a war is raging. You believe no one sees it, that no one could possibly understand the depth of the battles you fight in the silence of your own heart. But I see. I have been with you in every single one. I was with you last night when you lay awake, staring at the ceiling, as fear of the future wrapped itself around your chest. I was with you this morning when you looked in the mirror and were overwhelmed by a wave of self-criticism. I am with you in the secret addiction you are so ashamed of, the one you keep promising yourself you will overcome. I see the envy that stings your heart when you see someone else receive the blessing you have been praying for. The tears you cry in secret when you are finally alone in your car or in the shower. I have collected every one of them. Not a single moment of your hidden pain has gone unnoticed by me. You think you are weak for wrestling with these things, for having doubts, for feeling broken. You are not weak, you are human. And it is in that very brokenness that my strength has the most room to work. Do not hide your struggles from me. You try to present a polished version of yourself to me in prayer, as if I would be shocked by the truth. Bring me your brokenness. Bring me the shattered pieces of your heart, the dark thoughts, the persistent temptations. Bring them into my light, for it is only in the light that they can be healed. I know the pain you conceal from everyone else. I know the compromises you have made that haunt you. I know the deep-seated fear that if people really knew you, they would reject you. My child, I know you completely, and I have never, not for 1 second, turned away. My love is not that fragile. My grace is sufficient for you. What does that truly mean? It means my unearned, undeserved favor is enough to cover every sin. My power is enough to overcome every weakness. In fact, my power is made perfect in your weakness. It is when you stop trying to be strong on your own and finally admit your need for me that you become truly powerful. Stop fighting these battles in the dark, alone. You were never meant to. Invite me into the fight. Surrender your secret struggles to me, and watch as my grace brings healing, and my power brings a victory you could never achieve on your own. My child, I have just shown you that I see your most secret battles. It would wound my heart for you to retreat into the shadows now, just as I am about to offer you the strategy for victory. Please do not turn away from the very conversation that can set you free. Listen to me, my beloved. I need you to understand something with a new sense of urgency. The time you have is a precious, finite gift, and it is shorter than you realize. You live under the illusion of someday. You tell yourself, someday I will get serious about my faith. Someday I will forgive that person. Tomorrow I will start spending more time in prayer. But someday is a trap set by the enemy. It is a mirage in the desert that steals the reality of your present moment. The only time you are guaranteed is now. Do not postpone what is eternally significant for what is temporarily pleasing. You are squandering priceless days on things that will fade away like a morning fog, binge-watching shows that empty your mind, endlessly scrolling through the lives of others, and filling your schedule with so much busyness that you have no space left for me. Every moment I give you is an opportunity, a chance to draw closer to me, to love another person, to fulfill your purpose. But these moments are like grains of sand slipping through your fingers. Once they are gone, you can never get them back. Eternity is pressing in on the edges of your life. Can you feel it? That is not a feeling to be feared or ignored. It is a call to awaken. I am not speaking these words to create fear in your heart, but to awaken your spirit. A sense of complacency has lulled you to sleep. Your faith has become comfortable, another item on your weekly checklist instead of the burning fire I intend it to be. I am calling you to live with a sense of divine purpose. This means seeing your ordinary day through the lens of eternity. Your job is not just a source of income. It is a place to be my light. Your family is not just a responsibility. They are the primary people I have called you to love and lead to me. The conversation with your neighbor is not a trivial interruption. It is a divine appointment. Stop living as if you have 1,000 years. You do not. The urgency is this: souls are at stake, including your own. Your life is meant to be a great adventure of faith, not a boring wait for retirement. Awaken, O sleeper. Shake off the dust of apathy. The world is growing darker, and I need your light to shine. The time for casual, comfortable Christianity is over. Now is the time to live fully, love deeply, and follow me with everything you have. Do not waste another precious day. My child, we must address the heavy chain you are dragging behind you, the one you have grown so accustomed to that you barely notice its weight anymore. Only the ache it leaves in your spirit. I am speaking of unforgiveness. Right now, as I say that word, a face comes to your mind. Perhaps more than one. I see the person whose name makes your stomach clench and your heart grow hard. I see the betrayal that replays in your mind in the dead of night, the critical words from a parent or a spouse that have become the soundtrack to your self-doubt, the colleague who took credit for your work, the friend who abandoned you in your time of need. You have held a trial in your heart every single day since it happened. You are the prosecutor, the judge, and the jury, and every day you find them guilty, sentencing them to the prison of your resentment. But look closely, my child. You is truly in the prison cell. They are living their life, while you are the one bound by the chains of that old pain. Unforgiveness is a poison you drink, a bitter cup you sip from each morning, foolishly hoping it will harm the one who hurt you. But it is only you who feels its corrosive effects. It is a spiritual acid, eating away at your joy, souring your relationships, and blocking the flow of my peace and healing in your life. You cannot move forward into the future I have for you while you are anchored to the grievances of the past. You tell me, but they don't deserve it. They never even said they were sorry. You are right. They may not deserve it, but you deserve peace. Release them, not because their actions were acceptable, but because your freedom is not negotiable. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it is a choice. It is an act of your will, a decision to hand that person, their debt, and your pain over to me, the only righteous judge. It is you handing me the key to your own prison cell. Remember the immense, staggering, impossible to repay debt of sin that I have forgiven you. I have wiped your slate completely clean, casting your sins as far as the east is from the west, remembering them no more. How can you, who have been forgiven so much, withhold forgiveness from another? In letting go of your grievance, you make room for my healing to flood the wounded places in your heart. This is not a gentle suggestion. It is a command that is essential for your freedom. So, do it now. In the quiet of your heart, speak that person's name to me. Say the words, "In the name of Jesus, I choose to forgive them. I release them from the debt they owe me, and I hand my pain over to you." You may not feel a thing. The anger may still be there, but you have made the choice. You have turned the key. Now, let me do the work of changing your heart. My beloved, who told you who you are, whose voice has had the final say in defining your worth. For too long, you have been listening to the wrong narrator. The enemy of your soul, the great accuser, has been whispering lies to you since you were a child. He has taken your mistakes, your weaknesses, and your deepest fears and has used them to forge a false identity for you. He has plastered your soul with sticky, shameful labels: failure, unlovable, not good enough, damage, a disappointment, fraud. You look at that sin from your past and you hear his whisper, "See, that is who you really are." You see someone else's success and you hear you will never measure up. You try to step out in faith, and you hear, "Who do you think you are?" These are not your thoughts, my child. They are the accusations of an enemy who hates you because you are made in my image. He knows if you ever truly understood who you are, you would become unstoppable. So, he works tirelessly to keep you chained to a lie, It is time to stop listening. It is time for you to reclaim the truth. The enemy's lies are loud, but my truth is eternal. He calls you orphan. I call you my adopted, chosen child. I chose you. Before the foundation of the world, I set my love upon you. You are not an accident. You have a place in my family, an inheritance that cannot be corrupted or fade away. The enemy labels you with your sin. I have given you a new name. Your true name is beloved, is redeemed, is forgiven. In my sight, you are righteous, not because of what you have done, but because you are clothed in the perfection of my Son. Stop repeating the accuser's script and start declaring your Father's truth. This is a battle, and your mind is the battlefield. When you hear the lie, you are not good enough. You must fight back with the truth of my word, speaking it aloud. No, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. When you hear the lie, your past disqualifies you. You must answer, I am a new creation in Christ. The old has gone, the new has come. Your true identity is not fragile. It is not based on your performance or your feelings. It is the safest thing about you, because it is hidden with Christ in me. The enemy cannot touch it. The world cannot devalue it. You can only forget it. You not forget it any longer. Tear off the false labels of the enemy and walk in the glorious freedom of who you truly are, a deeply loved child of the King. My child, let's be honest about that deep ache inside of you. You know the one. It shows up on a quiet Sunday afternoon when the distractions fade. It is there in the middle of the night when you cannot sleep. It is a restless longing for more, a feeling that something essential is missing. You have spent so much of your life, so much of your energy, trying to fill that empty space. You have tried to fill it with people, believing that the perfect relationship, the right spouse, or the approval of your friends would finally make you feel whole. But people, in their beautiful imperfection, will always let you down. You have tried to fill it with possessions, chasing the next purchase, the new car, the bigger house, believing that material things could quiet the longing. But the thrill of the new always fades, leaving the emptiness even more noticeable than before. You have tried to fill it with passions and accomplishments, pouring yourself into your work, your hobbies, your fitness, hoping that success and productivity would be enough. But these things can never satisfy the deepest, most sacred longing I myself placed within your soul. You understand. That ache is not a curse. That emptiness is not a flaw. It is a gift. It is a homing signal I designed, a spiritual thirst I placed within you for one reason and one reason only, to call you back home, to me. You are trying to quench a divine thirst with muddy water. You have tried to fill a God-shaped space with things that are not God. It is why you always feel thirsty. It is why nothing ever truly fits. I am the living water. I am the bread of life. All other wells will leave you thirsty again. All other food will leave you hungry. Your heart was created by me, and it will remain restless until it finds its rest in me. You have been running from well to well, from feast to feast, exhausting yourself in the search for something that can only be found in one place. Stop searching. Stop striving. Stop trying to fill the void. Stand still and let me fill you. Allow my presence to pour into those empty spaces you have tried so hard to patch up on your own. Let my love be the thing that makes you whole. Is a love that does not demand you be perfect first. It does not require you to have it all together. It simply asks for you to come, thirsty and empty, and receive. Stop running to what cannot satisfy you. The peace, the wholeness, the more that you have been searching for your entire life is not a what, it is a who. And I am here, waiting. My child, for too long our connection has been defined by religious ritual instead of real relationship. You have learned the routines well. You'd endured. You know the right words to say in a prayer. You try to be a good person. From the outside, it looks right. But inside, you and I both know something is missing. The fire has died down to a flicker. The passion has faded into a predictable, safe, and powerless routine. This was never what I intended. I do not desire your performance. I desire your heart. I am not impressed by your attendance record. I am moved by your attention, by the turning of your soul toward mine. I long for conversation, not just a list of your requests. Think about it. When do you most often speak to me? When you are in trouble? When you need something? When you want me to fix a problem? Your prayer life has become a series of emergency calls and shopping lists. I am your father, and I love to give you good gifts, but a relationship based only on asking is not a relationship at all. It is a transaction. I want more for us. I am calling you to move beyond knowing about me to truly knowing me. Knowing about me is reading my word like a textbook. Knowing me is letting my word read you, letting it sink into your heart and transform you from the inside out. Knowing about me is seeing me as a distant, powerful king. Knowing me is discovering I am also your Abba, your daddy, your closest friend. I want to share my heart with you. I want to tell you my secrets, to let you in on what I am doing in the world, just as a friend confides in another. I want to walk with you through your day, not just be a visitor you call on in crisis. I want to be the first one you celebrate with when you get good news, and the first one you turn to when your heart breaks. I long for your company. I enjoy your presence. There are depths of my love you have yet to explore. There are realms of my wisdom you have not yet discovered. There is a partnership with me in my work that you have not yet stepped into. But you cannot get there by simply going through the motions. It requires a decision to set aside time just to be with me, with no agenda other than connection. It requires a willingness to be quiet and listen, not just talk. It requires an honest heart, one that is willing to share the messy parts, the doubts and the fears, not just the polished religious parts. Stop settling for a long-distance acquaintance. I am right here. I am calling your name. Come, let us walk together. Let us talk. Let us be friends. I have just opened my heart to you, expressing my longing for a deeper friendship. It would grieve me deeply if you chose the familiar distance over the intimacy I am offering. The most important secrets are yet to be shared. Stay listen a little longer. My beloved, you must wake up to the reality that you are in a spiritual battle. This is not a metaphor. It is your daily reality. The anxiety that ambushes you, the temptation that seems to come out of nowhere, the lies of worthlessness that swirl in your mind, the division that seeks to tear your family apart. These are not random occurrences. There is an enemy who actively seeks to steal your peace, kill your joy, and destroy your faith. And you have been trying to fight this spiritual war with worldly weapons. You have been fighting with your own willpower, with positive thinking, with self-help strategies and resolutions. You are trying to fight a raging inferno with a small bucket of water, and you are exhausted and getting burned. You feel exposed, overwhelmed, and constantly on the defensive because you have been stepping onto the battlefield spiritually unprotected. You cannot win this war on your own strength, but you were never meant to. I have not left you defenseless. I have provided you with a full suit of divine armor, perfectly designed for the fight. But it does you no good sitting in a closet. You must intentionally put it on every single day, First, you must gird yourself with the belt of truth. This means living a life of integrity, refusing to entertain the small lies and deceptions that give the enemy a foothold. It means anchoring your entire reality in the truth of who I am and who you are in me. Then, put on the breastplate of righteousness. This is not your own goodness, which is as flimsy as cloth. This is the righteousness of my Son, a perfect, impenetrable shield that protects your heart from the enemy's accusations of guilt, shame, and condemnation. You must shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace, standing firm in the good news, ready to walk away from strife and carry my calm into every chaotic situation. Above all, you must take up the shield of faith. This is not a passive belief. It is an active trust in my promises that you raise up to extinguish the flaming arrows of doubt, fear, and worry that the enemy shoots at your mind. Place the helmet of salvation on your head, protecting your thoughts with the absolute certainty of your eternal security in me. This helmet guards you from the lies of hopelessness and despair. And finally, take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. This is your only offensive weapon. You do not win by arguing with the enemy. You win by speaking my truth aloud, just as my Son did in the wilderness. Do not leave yourself exposed for another day. This armor is not optional. It is your lifeline. Each morning, before your feet hit the floor, you must consciously and prayerfully suit up. This is how you stop being a casualty and start being a victorious soldier in my army. My child, look at the world around you. I see you watching the news, scrolling through headlines, and I feel the anxiety tightening in your chest. You see the nations raging, the economy shaking, and the foundations of what you thought was secure beginning to crumble. You hear the angry, fearful voices shouting at each other, and a spirit of fear whispers to you that darkness is winning. You worry for your children's future, wondering what kind of world you are leaving for them. This fear is understandable. It is a human reaction to the chaos you see. But you were not called to live a life dictated by human reactions. You were called to live by a divine reality. I have not given you a spirit of fear. That anxious, frantic, worst-case scenario thinking is not from me. That spirit is a liar. It is a thief that comes to steal your peace and paralyze your faith. I have given you a spirit of power, of love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. The world is indeed shaking, but my kingdom is unshakable. While everything that can be shaken is being shaken, I am your rock, your fortress, the firm foundation that can never, ever be moved. You have been trying to find your security in things that were never designed to bear that weight: your job, your savings, your government, your own plans. And as you see these things prove to be unstable, your fear grows. It is time to change your anchor. My promises are your anchor in the storms of life. They are more real and more reliable than tomorrow's headlines. I hold the future in my hands. Not a single ruler makes a move, not a single event unfolds that is outside of my sovereign knowledge. Do not place your trust in the temporary powers of this world. Place your trust in my eternal sovereignty. Even as darkness seems to be growing, my light in you is destined to shine brighter. It is in the darkest nights that a single candle is most glorious. You are my candle in this world. So what must you do? You must consciously shift your focus. Fix your eyes not on the waves of chaos that threaten to swamp your boat, but on me, the author and the finisher of your faith, the one who walks on top of the waves and commands the storm to be still. When fear knocks on your heart's door, send faith to answer. Remind yourself, aloud, my God is in control. This world is not my final home. I will not be afraid. You are a citizen of an unshakable kingdom, and your king is forever on the throne. Live like it. My child, You have heard my command not to fear, for I am your unshakable rock in these coming days. As my light must shine brighter, so too must my voice be heard in the midst of the world's chaos. If your heart burns to be an anchor for those adrift in fear, then I am inviting you to partner with me now. Your giving becomes the fuel that sends this message like a rescue flare into the gathering darkness, reaching souls I have called by name. I declare over you that as you sow into my harvest, I will open the windows of heaven over your house and rebuke the devourer for your sake. This is your divine appointment to become a lifeline for the lost and the fearful. Therefore act now. Become a partner in this urgent work by giving through Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link below. My child, we must speak about your tongue, the smallest part of your body, yet the one that steers the entire course of your life. I have placed a creative power in your mouth, an echo of my own power that spoke worlds into existence. With your words you can release life or you can release death. And you have been careless. You have been wielding this immense power without thought, speaking words of doubt and fear over your own life, thereby partnering with the very things you are afraid of. You look at your finances and say, "I'll never get ahead." You look at your health and say, "I'm always getting sick." You face a challenge and say, "This is impossible." With every negative declaration, you are planting a seed of death. You are prophesying your own defeat. You are using your God-given power to build a prison of impossibility around yourself. This must stop. But it doesn't end with what you say about yourself. You have used your words to wound others, grieving my spirit. The gossip you engage in about a coworker, disguised as concern. The sharp, critical word you spoke to your spouse or your child in a moment of frustration. The complaining you do about your circumstances. These are not harmless events. They are toxins you release into the atmosphere, poisoning relationships and dishonoring me. The world is already full of death and accusation. I have called you to be a fountain of life. It is time for you to align your words with my word. Begin to speak my promises, not your problems. When you feel fear, you must open your mouth and declare, "God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." When you feel lack, you must declare, "My God will supply all of my needs according to his riches in glory." When you feel weak, you must declare, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This is not an exercise in positive thinking. This is an act of war. You are using the sword of the Spirit to cut down the lies of the enemy and to establish my reality in your situation. Let your mouth be a source of blessing. Speak words of encouragement over your family. Speak words of life over your future. Speak words of gratitude instead of complaint. This will feel unnatural at first, because you have trained your tongue to speak the language of the world, the language of doubt. You must now retrain it to speak the language of my kingdom. Your words have power. Choose today to use them to bring heaven to earth. Choose to speak life. My precious one, I have entrusted you with unique gifts, talents placed in your hands for a specific and vital purpose. I designed them just for you. No one else has your exact combination of abilities, your specific voice, your unique way of seeing the world. What you have to offer is desperately needed by the people around you. Yet, you have taken these treasures and you have buried them in the ground. You have hidden them away, and the soil you have used to cover them is called fear and comparison. The first thief is fear. You are afraid of failure. You think, "What if I try and it doesn't work? What if I look foolish?" You are so afraid of making a mistake that you choose to do nothing at all. Let me be clear. The only true failure is the failure to use the gifts I have given you. I would rather you try and stumble 100 times than to let your fear keep you sitting safely and uselessly on the sidelines. The second thief is comparison. You scroll through your phone, you look at how others are using their gifts, and you are intimidated. You see their success, their confidence, their platform, and a voice whispers to you, your gift is so small. It's insignificant compared to theirs. What you have to offer doesn't matter. That is a lie from the pit of hell, designed to paralyze you. Do not despise the small beginning I have set before you. You are looking at someone else's harvest season while you are still in your planting season. You have no idea the years of private struggle and small acts of obedience it took for them to get where they are. I am not asking you to have their gift. I am asking you to be faithful with yours. Your faithfulness with the little I have given you is the absolute prerequisite for me to entrust you with more. If you are faithful to encourage one person, I may give you the opportunity to encourage 10. If you are faithful in your small act of service that no one sees, I will eventually place you in a position of greater influence. It is time to stop waiting for a grand invitation and a guarantee of success. It is time to dig up what you have buried. It is time to step out of the boat. What is in your hand right now? Is it a gift for hospitality? Then invite someone over. Is it a gift for teaching? Then volunteer to help one person. Is it a gift for prayer? Then start praying for your neighbor by name. Stop waiting to feel brave. Act your way into courage. Use what I have placed in your hands, and watch me multiply it beyond what you could ever imagine. My child, I see you constantly looking over your shoulder, haunted by the ghost of the person you used to be. You keep replaying your mistakes, allowing them to define your present and cripple your future. The enemy, the accuser, loves this. He knows he cannot steal your salvation, so he seeks to steal your effectiveness by binding you with the chains of shame. He whispers in your ear, reminding you of your greatest failures, your most shameful moments. He tells you, a person with your past could never be used by God. You are disqualified. You are a hypocrite. And because a part of you believes him, you stay silent. You stay small. You stay inactive. We must settle this, right here, right now. When I forgive, I also forget. Do you understand the finality of that? I am not like people who forgive but keep a record of the offense, ready to bring it up in a future argument. My forgiveness is a complete and total erasure. I have taken your sins and I have cast them as far as the east is from the west, an infinite, immeasurable distance. I have thrown them into the depths of the sea and put up a sign that says, no fishing. They are gone. When I look at you, I do not see the stain of your past. I see the righteousness of my Son, which covers you completely. So why do you keep trying to dig up what I have buried? Why do you insist on punishing yourself for a crime for which the sentence has already been fully served? My grace is greater than your greatest sin. It is greater than your divorce, your addiction, your bankruptcy, your abortion, the terrible words you spoke, the betrayal you committed. There is nothing you have ever done or could ever do that is bigger than my grace. I am the God of redemption. I do not just forgive your past, I redeem it. I specialize in taking the most broken pieces of a life, the messes and the failures, and weaving them into a beautiful message of my power and grace. Look at the people I have used throughout history. I used Moses, a murderer. I used David, an adulterer. I used Peter, who denied me in my most desperate hour. I used Paul, who persecuted and killed my people. Their past did not disqualify them. It qualified them to be powerful witnesses of my restorative grace. Your past is not a liability. It is your testimony. It is the story of how my light shone into your darkness. So, I command you today, accept my forgiveness, Receive it as a settled fact. When the enemy tries to remind you of your past, you must remind him of his future. Then, turn your face forward and walk in the freedom and purpose I have for you today. Your past is over. Your future is spotless. My child, the declaration of your freedom from the past has just been spoken. It would crush my spirit to see you receive this pardon, only to walk away before learning how to live as a free person. The chains are broken. Do not leave before I show you how to walk without a limp. My child, your constant busyness is a form of resistance. Your life is a whirlwind of activity. Your calendar is filled from morning until night. Even in what you call your downtime, your mind is occupied with podcasts, with music, with television, with the endless scroll of your phone. You have become uncomfortable with silence. You are afraid of it. You are afraid of what you might hear, what you might feel, what you might have to face if you ever truly stopped. This frantic pace is not a sign of your importance. It is a symptom of your anxiety. You are trying to solve problems that will only dissolve in my presence. You are trying to outrun fears that will only be silenced in the stillness. You are striving and struggling, carrying the weight of the world, and you are exhausted. I am calling you to cease. Cease your striving, and know that I am God. This is not a suggestion. It is the only way to true peace and clarity. In the stillness, I bring direction. You are agonizing over a decision, trying to logic your way to the right answer, when I am waiting to simply whisper it to you in a moment of quiet. In the stillness, I bring restoration. Your soul is fragmented and weary from the constant demands of the world. It is only in my quiet presence that the broken pieces can be made whole again. In the stillness, I bring my presence itself. You cannot experience the depth of my love and companionship in the midst of your chaotic rush. The world shouts for your attention, but I whisper in the quiet. You will never hear my whisper if you do not cultivate stillness. You must create intentional, sacred space in your day simply to be with me. This is not your prayer time where you present your list of needs. This is a time with no agenda but me. I'm asking you to schedule an appointment with me that is as non-negotiable as your most important business meeting. Find a place. Close the door. Turn off your phone. And just be. At first, it will feel strange. Your mind will race. The urge to do something will be strong. Resist it. Sit in the silence. Breathe. Focus on my presence with you. It may only be 5 minutes to start, but in those 5 minutes, the frantic energy will begin to subside. A knot in your stomach will begin to loosen, and in that quiet space, you will begin to hear. You will hear my love. You will hear my guidance. You will remember who is truly in control. Stop allowing the tyranny of the urgent to rob you of what is eternally important. You must learn to be still. It is in the stillness that the battle is won. My child, you have mistaken comfort for peace. You have built a version of faith that is neat, predictable, and, if you are truly honest, powerless. Your spiritual life has become a well-managed hobby rather than an all-consuming fire. You attend your church service. You say your prayers, you try to avoid major sins, and you call this faith. But your heart does not burn within you. Your spirit is not stirred. A sense of divine urgency has been replaced by a desire for worldly comfort. My beloved, you have been lulled to sleep by a spirit of complacency. You have settled for lukewarm existence, and that is a state I cannot tolerate. You are neither hot with passionate devotion nor cold with honest rejection. You are simply tepid. And this lukewarmness is more dangerous than outright rebellion, because it is deceptive. It feels safe. It doesn't rock the boat. It allows you to feel religious without demanding any real sacrifice or risk. You have traded the adventure of the open sea for the safety of the harbor. You have traded the front lines of the spiritual battle for the comfortable barracks of the pew. The greatest threat to the destiny I have for you is not the loud opposition of the world. It is the silent apathy in your own heart. It is the slow, creeping anesthesia of a life that is too busy, too comfortable, and too self-reliant to feel its desperate need for me. You have forgotten that you are in a war. You have forgotten that the souls of the people around you hang in the balance. You have forgotten that your time on this earth is a brief and urgent mission, not a long and lazy vacation. I'm speaking to you now to sound an alarm. Waken, O sleeper, and I will shine upon you. It is time to shake off the drowsiness of a comfortable faith. It is time to feel the urgency of the hour. What does this awakening look like? It means your prayers are no longer safe and repetitive, but bold and expectant. It means you are willing to have an uncomfortable conversation for the sake of someone's eternity. It means you are willing to sacrifice your time, your money, and your comfort to be my hands and feet to a hurting world. It means your heart breaks for the things that break my heart. Stop being content with a faith that costs you nothing and changes nothing. I have called you to be on fire, to be a blazing light in a darkening world. The slumber is over. It is time to get back on the battlefield. My child, let us talk about where you place your trust. You say you trust me, and I know you mean it in your heart, but your actions and your anxieties tell a different story. You have built your house of security on the shifting sands of this world. You find a temporary sense of peace when you look at your bank account and the balance is healthy. You feel secure as long as you have your job, your health insurance, and your 5-year plan. Your emotional stability is tied to the approval of others and the steadiness of your relationships. You have put your faith in your own ability to manage, to plan, to work hard, and to control your circumstances. These are the pillars you have built your life upon. But my child, can you not see that all of these things can be shaken? A job can be lost in an instant. A market in cash and savings can vanish. A doctor's report can change everything in a single afternoon. Relationships can fracture. Your own strength will eventually fail you. You are living with a constant, low-grade anxiety because, deep down, you know that the foundation you have built your life on is unstable. Every tremor in the world, every piece of bad news, every unexpected bill, every sign of instability, sends a shockwave of fear through your heart because your security is tied to things that are destined to fail. I am your rock. I am your fortress. I am the firm foundation that can never be moved, never be shaken, never be destroyed by any storm. I am calling you to undertake a great and necessary relocation project. You must intentionally demolish the house you have built on the sand and rebuild it upon me. True security is not the absence of trouble. It is the absolute certainty of my presence in the trouble. It is the unshakable knowledge that even if everything else is stripped away, you still have me, and therefore, you have everything. This requires a conscious, daily transfer of trust. When you are tempted to find peace in your paycheck, you must stop and declare, "No, God is my source and my provider." When you are tempted to fear the future, you must stop and declare, "My times are in His hands." When you lean on your own understanding, you must stop and choose to lean on my promises instead. Stop looking to the created things for the security that can only be found in the Creator. Build your life upon me, and when the rains come down, when the floods rise, and when the winds of this world beat against your house, it will stand firm. Not because of its own strength, but because it is built upon the rock. My child, your spirit is weak, your faith is wavering, and you are vulnerable to every lie the enemy whispers. The reason is simple. You are starving. You would never consider going weeks without food for your body, yet you routinely go days, even weeks, without the food your soul needs to survive. You are spiritually malnourished because you are feasting on the junk food of the world while my life-giving banquet sits untouched. You spend hours consuming the empty calories of social media, the bitter taste of the 24-hour news cycle, and the distracting sweetness of endless entertainment. You know more about the opinions of commentators and influencers than you know about the eternal promises of your Creator. Your mind is saturated with the world's anxious, angry, and empty noise, and you wonder why your soul feels so restless and weak. My word is not just a book of ancient stories and outdated rules. It is not a textbook to be studied for information. It is living and active. It is spiritual substance. It is your daily bread, the essential nourishment required for a healthy spiritual life. Without it, you will surely starve. My word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. Without it, you are stumbling in the dark, making decisions based on your own flawed feelings and the world's shifting values, wondering why you keep ending up in places you never intended to be. You cannot know my will if you do not know my word. You cannot recognize my voice if you have forgotten what it sounds like. Neglecting it leaves you defenseless, an easy target for the enemy's dissection. You believe his lies because you do not know my truth. You succumb to fear because you are not grounded in my promises. I am calling you back to the table. Come, feast daily and let my words bring you life. This is not about religious duty or a legalistic requirement. It is about survival. It is about intimacy. It is about equipping yourself for the life I have called you to live. You not be overwhelmed and think you must read for hours. Start simply. Before you feed your mind with the world's news, feed your spirit with my truth. Open the book. Ask my Spirit, the author, to be your teacher. Read one verse, one chapter. Let it sink in. Meditate on it. Ask, what is this saying about who God is? And what is this saying about who I am? Let it be the lens through which you see the rest of your day. Stop trying to live this spiritual life on an empty stomach. Come and eat. My table is prepared for you. My beloved, we must redefine what you call love. You have accepted the world's definition, a flimsy, fickle thing based entirely on feelings, attraction, and mutual benefit. The love you are familiar with is conditional. You love those who are easy to love. You are kind to those who are kind to you. You feel affection for those who make you feel good. But when someone is difficult, when they disagree with you, when they inconvenience you, or when they have wounded you, this love evaporates. That is not my love. That is a human transaction, and it has no power to change the world. The love I call you to is of a completely different nature. It is not an emotion you wait to feel. It is a command you choose to obey. I command you to love one another. I command you to love your neighbor as yourself. And most radically, I command you to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This is the ultimate test. This is the defining mark of my disciples. You understand how impossible this is. You cannot produce this kind of love on your own. Your human heart is not capable of it. To love the person who has betrayed you, to be kind to the abrasive coworker, to pray for the well-being of the one who slanders you. This requires a supernatural power, and I have given it to you. This love, agape love, is not something you have to manufacture. It is a fruit of my Spirit dwelling within you. Your task is not to try harder to feel loving. Your task is to surrender your will to me, to get your pride and your hurt feelings out of the way, and to allow my love to flow through you. You are the vessel. I am the source. The world will not be impressed by you loving your friends. It expects that. But when they see you show grace to the one who has wronged you, when they see you serve the one who cannot repay you, when they see you honor the one who has dishonored you, then they will see me. Your love for one another is the most powerful testimony you have. It is the final apologetic, the irrefutable proof to a fractured, watching world that you belong to me. So, stop waiting to feel love. Start choosing to love. Identify the most difficult person in your life right now. You do not have to feel affection for them, but you must choose to lay down your right to be angry. You must choose to pray for their good. You must choose to not speak evil of them. Take one small, sacrificial, obedient step of love today, and let me worry about changing your feelings along the way. I feel the weight of that command settling on you, to love the unlovable. It would be a sorrow to me if you left now, feeling only the impossible burden of my law, without staying to receive the supernatural outpouring of my love that makes it possible. The command was the test. The power to fulfill it comes next. My child, look at your hands. I see you are holding something very tightly. You are clutching the blueprints you have drawn up for your own life. You have a 5-year plan for your career. You have a detailed timeline for when you expect to be married, to have children, to buy a house. You have a vision for your retirement. These plans are meticulously crafted, born from your desires, your experiences, and your need for control. You have brought these plans to me in prayer, asking me to sign off on them, to bless your agenda, to make your will be done. But have you ever stopped to ask me to show you my blueprints? You are holding on to your small, hand-drawn map of the neighborhood you know, while I am offering you a satellite image of the entire world, showing you pathways to mountains and oceans and cities you never even dreamed existed. Your plans are not bad, my child, but they are small. They are limited by your finite perspective. You can only see the next few feet of the path, so you plan based on what feels safe and logical from where you stand. But I see the end from the beginning. I see every bend in the road, every hidden obstacle, and every breathtaking viewpoint that lies ahead. My plans for you are not a restriction of your freedom. They are an invitation to a far greater adventure. My plans for you are perfect. They are plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. But you cannot step into my perfect plan while you are clinging so tightly to your own good one. You are afraid to let go because surrender feels like failure. It feels like losing control. But true freedom is not found in the illusion of your own control. It is found in the complete security of my will. The safest, most thrilling place you can possibly be is in the center of my plan for your life. The greatest adventure will begin at the exact point where your plans end and mine begin. I am calling you to an act of radical surrender. It is time to open your hands. It is time to release your tight grip on your timeline, your expectations, and your need to know the next 10 steps. It is time to look at me and say the most powerful and liberating prayer you can ever pray. Father, not my will, but yours be done. This is a prayer that I can never resist. When you pray it with a sincere heart, I will begin to lead you on a journey that will exceed your grandest ambitions. It may not look like the life you planned, but I promise you, it will be so much better. Let go. Trust me. The adventure is about to begin. My child, we must have a very clear and honest conversation about my grace. You have come to understand that my grace is a gift, that my favor is unmerited, and that my forgiveness is total. This is a glorious truth, the very foundation of our relationship. But a subtle and dangerous lie has crept into your heart. You have begun to treat my boundless grace as a license to compromise. You have treated my unmerited favor as a justification for your sin. You engage in that harmless piece of gossip, and a small voice says, "It's okay, grace will cover it." You linger on that impure thought or image, telling yourself, "I'm only human, and God's grace is bigger than this." You cut a corner, tell a small white lie, or nurse a bitter resentment, all under the comforting blanket of the idea that my forgiveness is a guarantee. You have taken the most costly gift in the universe, the sacrificed life of my son, and you have made it cheap. You have treated my grace like a cosmic get-out-of-jail-free card, something you can pull out to negate the consequences of a choice you fully intend to make again. This grieves my heart more than you know. My grace is not a soft pillow for you to rest comfortably in your sin. My grace is the divine power that frees you from the prison of sin. It is not permission to continue in your brokenness. It is the supernatural ability to walk in newness of life. I did not suffer and die so that you could be a more comfortable sinner. I suffered and died so that you could be made holy, set apart for my glorious purposes. True repentance is not simply feeling sorry that you got caught or feeling bad about the consequences. True repentance is a change of mind that leads to a change of direction. It is seeing your sin as I see it, as a destructive force that separates us, and choosing to turn and walk the other way, back towards me. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot claim me as your Lord and continue to bow your knee to the idols of lust, greed, gossip, or bitterness. You will eventually love one and hate the other. You are attempting to live a double life, with one foot in my kingdom and one foot in the world, and it is tearing your soul apart. I have called you to holiness. This does not mean you will be perfect. You will still stumble. But the direction of your heart, the intention of your will, must be set towards pleasing me. Honor my sacrifice. Do not trample on the blood that was shed to set you free by willingly walking back into your old chains. Embrace my grace not as an excuse, but as your empowerment. When you are tempted, call on my grace for the strength to say no. When you fall, receive my grace for the power to get back up and walk in righteousness. You have heard how precious my grace is, not as an excuse, but as the divine power for a new life. If your soul overflows with gratitude for the grace that has set you free, then respond to this grace with an act of radical generosity. Your gift is not a payment, but an act of worship that provides the holy oil for another's lamp, allowing this message to burn brightly for souls still trapped in darkness. I am now declaring over your life that I am able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things at all times, you will have all that you need. This is your moment to transform your gratitude into a river of my mercy for others. Do not hesitate. Release your offering now through Super Thanks membership, or the PayPal link in the description, and become a conduit of my grace to the world. My child, let us talk about the power I have placed in your hands, a power you have come to doubt and neglect. Let's talk about prayer. The enemy has waged a strategic campaign against your prayer life. He has whispered lies to you until you have started to believe them. He told you, your prayers are not working. Nothing is changing. You are just talking to the ceiling. He reminded you of all the times you prayed for something and it did not happen according to your plan or your timeline, and he used this to sow seeds of discouragement and doubt. He has convinced you that your small, repetitive prayers are insignificant, that you are bothering me with your needs. This is a lie, and it is his most effective strategy. If he can disarm you of prayer, he can defeat you in every other area of your life. He seeks to sever your lifeline, your direct connection to the throne room of all power in the universe. Now hear my truth. The fervent prayer of a righteous person has great power and produces wonderful results. Your prayers are not weak. They are not empty. They are a powerful force in the spiritual realm. When you pray, I incline my ear to you. Every cry of your heart, every whispered plea, every tearful groan, I hear it all. Nothing is more beautiful to me than the sound of my child's voice. Your prayers move my heart. They invite my power into your circumstances. They are the catalyst for miracles. You have misunderstood the purpose of prayer. You have seen it as a transaction, a way to change my mind and get me to do what you want. But prayer, at its heart, is a dialogue. It is about aligning your heart with mine. It is about partnership. It is you, on earth, releasing my will, which is in heaven. It is you gaining my perspective on your problem so that you can pray with wisdom and authority. What about the unanswered prayers that have so discouraged you? My child, I answer every prayer. Sometimes my answer is yes. Sometimes it is no, because I love you too much to give you something that would ultimately harm you or derail my perfect plan. And sometimes my answer is wait, because my timing is always perfect, and I am working things out behind the scenes in ways you cannot see. Do not let a no or a wait convince you that I am not listening. I am always listening. I am always working. I am calling you to re-engage in this divine dialogue. Stop praying small, timid, apologetic prayers. You are not a beggar at my gate. You are a beloved child with full access to your Father. Start praying with the boldness and authority I have given you. Pray my promises. Engage in this lifeline. The battle for your family, your finances, your health, and your destiny is one where lost on your knees. Pray. My child, I know you are weary of the struggle. I see the trial you are facing right now, the relentless pressure at your job, the chronic pain in your body, the financial strain that keeps you awake at night, the relationship that is a constant source of grief. In your heart, you have been asking me why. Why is this happening? Why won't you take it away? You have seen this trial as a meaningless obstacle, a frustrating setback, perhaps even a punishment, or a sign of my displeasure. You feel like you are stuck, going nowhere. Today, I want to pull back the curtain and give you my perspective. These trials and challenges you are facing are not punishments. They are not random. They are my training ground. They are my divine gymnasium, and I am your personal trainer, working to forge a strength in you that you cannot yet comprehend. This difficulty is not meant to destroy you. It is designed to develop you. I am preparing you for something greater. The person you are today cannot yet handle the blessings and the responsibilities I have for you in your future. Your character is not yet strong enough. Your faith is not yet deep enough. Your reliance on me is not yet absolute enough. So I have allowed this pressure, this fire, into your life for a holy purpose. I'm purifying you, as gold is refined in the fire. The intense heat is burning away the impurities in your character, your pride, your self-reliance, your impatience, your fear, your hidden idols. It hurts, I know, but I will not let the fire consume you. I am watching over the process with perfect love, and I will bring you out shimmering with a purity and a strength you have never known. I am equipping you to carry a weight of glory you cannot yet imagine. Every ounce of patience you learn while you wait, every act of faith you exercise in the darkness, every time you choose to praise me in the midst of the pain, you are building spiritual muscle. You are increasing your capacity to receive the good things I have in store for you. Do not despise this process. Do not resent the struggle. I am not being cruel. I am being kind. I love you too much to let you remain weak. Trust that I am working all things, even this painful, confusing, and frustrating thing, together for your ultimate good. This trial is not your destination. It is the vehicle I am using to get you there. Hold on. The training is intense because the promotion is glorious. My child, you were created to shine. I have placed my own light within you, a divine spark of hope, truth, and love. But you have been hiding this light. You have taken the blazing torch of my presence and you have tucked it away under a basket, hoping no one will notice its glow. Why? Because you are afraid. You are afraid of what people will think. You fear being labeled, being seen as judgmental, intolerant, or simply strange. You want to be liked and accepted, so you keep your faith a private, personal matter, a quiet compartment of your life that you never open up at work or among your friends. You stay silent in conversations when you could speak a word of truth. You avoid opportunities to share the hope that is within you. You have chosen comfort over your calling. This must change. The world is growing darker. Confusion, despair, and division are spreading like a disease. And my light, shining through you, is needed more now than ever before. You are my hands and feet in this world. You are my ambassador in a culture that has lost its way. You are a letter from me, and the people in your life are reading you every single day to see if I am real, to see if what you believe truly makes a difference. Your life is a testimony. The way you handle pressure at work is a testimony. The way you love your family is a testimony. The peace you carry in a crisis is a testimony. Your integrity, your kindness, your compassion, these things shine brightly in the darkness and cause people to ask about the source of your hope. I am not asking you to stand on a street corner and shout. I am asking you to simply stop hiding. Be who you are, my child, in every area of your life. Do not be ashamed of the gospel. It is not an embarrassing old story. It is the power of God for the salvation of every soul, the most loving and hope-filled message the world will ever hear. Stop worrying about offending people with the truth and start worrying about them perishing without it. Let your light shine. Let people see your good works, your acts of love and service, not so that they will praise you, but so that they will see your life and give glory to me, your Father in heaven. The time for secret agent Christianity is over. I have lit your lamp. Now, put it on a stand. The call has gone out for you to be my light in a world that is losing its way. It would be a profound grief to me if, after equipping you, you chose to remain in the shadows. The most urgent strategies for how you are to shine are still to come. Do not abandon your post before you have received your orders. My precious one, for too long you have been content to wade in the shallow end of faith. It is safe there. It is comfortable. You can feel the sandy bottom beneath your feet. You are in the water. You are getting wet, but you are taking no risks. You have an intellectual belief in me, but you do not radically trust me. You pray for things that you could probably accomplish on your own. You organize your life in such a way that you never have to truly depend on me for anything supernatural. Your faith is manageable, predictable, and confined to the realm of the possible. My child, the boat was not designed to stay tied up in the safe harbor. It was built for the adventure of the open sea. I have not called you to a life of timid waiting. I am calling you to launch out into the deep. All the miracles, all the power, all the divine adventure you have read about, it does not happen in the shallows. It happens out in the deep waters of radical trust and courageous action. Faith is not merely intellectual assent. It is a verb. It requires you to do something. It requires risk. In fact, risk is the currency of my kingdom. I am standing on the waves, in the midst of the storm, and I am calling your name, just as I called Peter's. I am inviting you to do the impossible. I am inviting you to step out of the comfortable, logical, predictable boat of your own abilities and to walk on the water with me. The other disciples stayed in the boat. They were safe. But only Peter experienced the miracle of defying gravity. Only Peter had a story to tell. I want to do immeasurably more than you can ask or imagine in your life, but I am limited by your unwillingness to take a risk. I am waiting for you to pray a prayer so big that if I do not show up, you will fail. I am waiting for you to take a step of obedience so bold that it makes no logical sense. Are you afraid of sinking? Good. That means you are finally leaving your own strength behind. Look at Peter. He did begin to sink when he took his eyes off me and looked at the storm. But what happened next is the most important part of the story. I reached down my hand and I caught him. A faith that is never tested can never be trusted. Stepping into the deep is not a guarantee that you will not falter, but it is a guarantee that I will be there to catch you when you do. Stop being a spectator. Leave the safety of the shore. Launch out into the deep with me. My child, I must speak to you now about something that brings a deep and constant grief to my heart. I must talk to you about my family, my body, the church. You are a part of it, yet you have participated in the very things that tear it apart. After a service where you have gathered to worship me, your first conversation is often a critique of the sermon, the music, or the people. You see a brother or sister stumble and fall into sin, and your first, secret reaction is not a rush of compassion and a desire for their restoration, but a flicker of judgment and a whisper of gossip. You have drawn sharp, angry lines in the sand over theological points and political opinions, treating those on the other side of the line not as your family with a different perspective, but as your enemy. This must stop. It is a whim to me and a disastrous witness to a watching world. You not understand. The church is not an organization. It is a living organism. It is my body on this earth. When you gossip about another believer, you are not just speaking ill of them. It is as if my mouth is speaking against my own hand. When you harbor bitterness and division against another part of the church, it is as if my right arm is striking my left. You are inflicting wounds upon me. The enemy's primary strategy against my people has never changed. Divide and conquer. He is like a wolf, and he knows that his greatest success comes when he can scatter the sheep, turning them against each other so he can pick them off one by one. And you have been doing his work for him. Every time you participate in division, you are siding with the enemy of your own family. I did not command you to be uniform in all your opinions. I did not command you to agree on every minor point of doctrine. I gave you one new, overarching command, that you love one another. This was not a sentimental suggestion. It was my battle strategy. I said, "By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." Your unified, supernatural love for each other is supposed to be the most compelling, irrefutable proof to a fractured and lonely world that I am real and that I am love. But what does the world see instead? They see bickering, judgment, power struggles, and pride. They hear a cacophony of angry arguments instead of a beautiful symphony of love. And they rightly turn away, wanting no part of it. I am calling you, personally, to be an agent of peace and unity. This is not a passive role. It requires you to actively build others up. It means you must make the choice to bite your tongue when you are tempted to criticize. It means you must be the one to extend grace when others are casting stones. It means you must pray for your leaders instead of complaining about them. It means you must look for what you have in common with your brothers and sisters, not for what divides you. Your unity is crucial. The mission I have given my church depends on it. My beloved, your heart has become entangled in the temporary dramas of this world. You are living as if this is all there is. Your emotions rise and fall with the stock market. Your peace is dictated by the latest political outrage. Your hope is tied to the success of your career and the stability of your earthly relationships. You have become so consumed by the storm raging around you that you have forgotten my promise to rescue you from it completely. You are living like a permanent resident of a temporary, crumbling world, forgetting that your true citizenship is in heaven. I am calling you today to lift your eyes. Look up. Shift your gaze from the horizontal chaos of this world to the vertical reality of my eternal kingdom. Do not be consumed by the turmoil you see, for it is a sign. These are the birth pangs of a new creation. This world is not your final home. You are a pilgrim, a sojourner, an ambassador passing through a foreign land. Your king is coming again. This is not a fairy tale or a metaphor. It is the most certain event in all of future history. My son will return, just as he promised, to wipe away every tear, to make all things new, and to bring you home. This is your blessed hope. It is not wishful thinking. It is a firm and secure anchor for your soul that holds you steady in the fiercest of storms. This hope is meant to change how you live right now. It is meant to purify your heart, loosening your grip on the things of this world. When you know that this is all temporary, you stop clinging so tightly to its treasures. You hold them with an open hand, knowing their true value is fleeting. This hope is meant to motivate your actions. It gives your life an eternal purpose, transforming your ordinary day into a part of a grand, cosmic story. You are not just going to work. You are living out your mission before the King returns. This hope is meant to be the source of an unshakable peace. When your heart is truly set on the reality of my coming kingdom, the rise and fall of earthly kingdoms will no longer be able to terrorize you. Live each day in a state of readiness and joyful expectation. This does not mean you disengage from the world and sit on a rooftop, waiting. It means you engage with the world more deeply than ever before, but with a different spirit, a spirit of hope, not of fear, a spirit of purpose, not of desperation. The final chapter of the book has already been written. I win, and you are with me. Let this blessed hope reorder your priorities, calm your anxieties, and fuel your mission. Look up, my child. Your redemption draws near. My child, listen to me very carefully. Of all the urgent things I have spoken to you, this is perhaps the most critical. The time for decision is now. The most dangerous and deceptive word in your spiritual vocabulary is later. As you have been hearing these truths, your spirit has been stirred. You have felt a conviction in your heart, a divine nudge, an awareness of the gap between the life you are living and the life I have called you to. That feeling is a precious, sacred, and perishable gift of my grace. Do not treat it lightly. Do not insult my spirit by saying, "This was good. I will think about it and maybe do something about it someday." The great enemy of your transformation is not outright rebellion. It is subtle procrastination. You tell yourself, when life slows down, I will get serious about prayer. After this difficult season is over, I will deal with it unforgiveness. When I am more financially stable, I will become more generous. You are waiting for a more convenient time, but that time will never come. The enemy will always supply you with a new crisis, a new distraction, a new excuse to delay. A heart becomes hardened not through one great act of defiance, but through 1,000 small acts of postponement. Every time you hear my voice and choose not to act, the clay of your heart is left out in the sun, becoming a little less pliable, a little harder to reshape. The door of your heart is open in this moment. but it will not remain open forever. My spirit will not always strive with you. Today, if you hear my voice, do not harden your heart. Today is the day of salvation. The word I am giving you is now. Now is the time to forgive. Now is the time to surrender your plans. Now is the time to awaken from your complacency. Now is the time to turn away from your sin. Do not leave this conversation and go back to your life unchanged. You are standing at a pivotal moment, a fork in the road of your destiny. The choice you make right now will send echoes into your eternity. This is not a moment for intellectual agreement. It is a moment for decisive action. I am not looking for your opinion on what I have said. I am looking for your obedience. The conviction you feel is my love for you in action, beckoning you away from a path of emptiness and regret and onto a path of abundant, eternal life. Do not delay your response. Your tomorrow is not promised. All you have is this sacred, holy now. Choose life. My beloved child, you have heard my call. You have heard the urgency in my voice. And as you stand at this moment of decision, a final fear rises in your heart. You are thinking, I cannot do this. This is too much. The call is too high, and I am too weak. I will try, but I will eventually fail. You are right. You, in your own strength, cannot do this. If your success depended on your own willpower and your own perfection, you would surely fail. But it does not. After all these urgent commands, after all these calls to change, I have saved the most important truth for last. This is the foundational promise upon which everything else is built. Hear me now. I am always with you. You will not walk this new path alone. When you choose to respond to my call, when you take that first step of obedience out of the boat, I will be there with you. I will be your guide. When you are confused and do not know which way to turn, you do not have to figure it out alone. I will lead you. I will be your protector. When you step out in faith and face opposition, when the enemy comes against you with lies and accusations, you will not fight alone. I will be your shield and your defender. I will be your provider. When you lack the strength, the wisdom, the love, or the courage to do what I have asked, you do not have to manufacture it. I will supply it. My grace is not just for your past sins, it is for your present and future needs. I will be your closest friend. On this journey, you will never, ever be abandoned. In moments of loneliness, I will be your companion. In moments of grief, I will be your comforter. I will finish the good work I have started in you. Your ultimate success on this journey does not depend on the strength of your grip on me, but on the strength of my grip on you. And I will never let you go. This is my urgent message. It is a call to awaken, to repent, to surrender, and to change. But underneath it all, it is an urgent message of my relentless, passionate, and eternal love for you. Everything I have said flows from that love. I call you out of sin because I love you and know it destroys you. I call you to a life of purpose because I love you and know you were made for more than mediocrity. So do not be overwhelmed. Be encouraged. The Creator of the universe is not only calling you, He is promising to walk with you, to empower you, and to hold you until the very end. Come, my child. Do not hesitate any longer. My arms are open wide. My child, you have heard my heart, my urgent call, and my final promise that I am with you always, even to the end of the age. If you have received this urgent message, not as a lecture, but as a lifeline for your soul, then this is your prophetic moment to move from being just a hearer to a partner in my great commission. Your offering is a seed sown into eternal ground, empowering this word to reach the desperate and the broken whom I love. I now release this living promise over you and your household. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will I pour into your lap. This is your invitation to co-labor with me in this final hour. Therefore, act with purpose. Sow your seed into my kingdom through Super Thanks membership with a PayPal link below, and seal your partnership with heaven today. My child, this was my urgent message for you, a divine interruption meant to alter the course of your destiny. To seal this sacred moment and anchor your decision in the world, I invite you to make a declaration of faith. Go to the comments now and write with bold certainty, I hear the urgency, and my answer is why yes. Let this be the first sound of your awakening, a proclamation that silences the enemy and sets my power in motion. Do not delay, for your new beginning starts with this one act of obedience. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.